Night draws a cool curtain across the room, and the world finally quiets. A distant engine fades. A hallway light clicks off. Your body is tired, yet thoughts keep circling the same questions. Tonight, let's invite a different rhythm. Imagine a small lamp, warm and steady, and a wooden door that closes softly on the noise. You can be here now. No deadlines, no decisions. So before you fully relax, take a moment to like and subscribe, only if you truly enjoy this. Leave a comment with your location and time. I love seeing where everyone is listening from. Now, dim the lights, maybe let a fan hum softly, ease your shoulders down, and let's begin tonight's journey. Psalm 4 is a prayer for evenings like this. It belongs to the hush after a long day when questions grow taller in the dark. The psalm opens with a steady plea. Answer me when I call, O God of my righteousness. The voice does not pretend to be fearless. It brings both faith and fretfulness to the one who holds both. Think of your own day, its scrapes and small victories, that conversation you wish had gone differently. Let them sit beside you, not as enemies, but as guests who will soon stand. Nod kindly and leave. The psalmist remembers tightness, pressure that squeezed the heart as if the room were shrinking. Then God gave me room, like windows opening to a night breeze. Picture a narrow alley widening into a courtyard where air and starlight have space to move. Breathe in gently through your nose, hold, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Again, inhale, exhale. As the breath lengthens, imagine the room widening around you. There are other voices in the psalm, restless voices of the crowd, of anger, of illusions promising quick relief. Night can amplify such voices. When the street is quiet, inner noise grows louder. The psalm answers with a simple practice. Be still on your bed and ponder. It is not an invitation to overthink. It is a nudge to notice a thought land, name it kindly, and let it continue on. Like a bird that does not build a nest in your hair, place a hand on your chest and feel the rise and fall. Whisper to your body, we are safe. There is wisdom here about anger. The psalm does not deny it. It simply asks that anger not drive the chariot. If heat found your words today, or someone else's heat found you, you can release it now like steam rising from a cup. Night does not have to carry the day's friction forward. It can be a doorway where you set down what you do not need to carry into tomorrow. Others chase joy in quick flashes, grain and wine, the sudden surge of good fortune. The psalmist asks for a different glow. Lift up the light of your face upon us. Imagine a face that loves you looking without hurry or disappointment. Let that gaze warm the room. Let it soften the edges of your self-talk. If there is a mistake you keep replaying, place it in that light and watch how its sharpness loses its bite. Now we arrive at the verse many whisper before sleep, a lullaby of trust. In peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm 4:8. The words are brief, but they hold a country's worth of quiet. Peace is not the absence of sound. It is the settled knowing that you are held. Lie down is not defeat. It is choosing to rest as an act of faith. You alone reminds the heart it does not have to be its own guardian during the hours it does not watch. Let your mattress meet you and rise to support you. Feel how the sheets cradle your legs, how the pillow welcomes the shape of your head. You are not falling. You are being received. Let your shoulders slide down an inch. No part of you has to earn its rest tonight. Rest is not a wage. It is a gift. If worries insist on being heard, give them a small notebook on the bedside table of your imagination. One by one, write them down. When each worry is written, close the page and slide it beneath the lamp. You are not throwing them away. You are entrusting them to dawn. The God who hears in the night will still be God in the morning, and whatever truly needs your attention will meet you with new mercy. Perhaps anxiety has a rhythm in you, fluttering in the chest, tightness in the throat, a hum behind the eyes. Place that rhythm beside a gentler one, the quiet beat of your heart and the slow ocean of your breath. Breathe to a count of 4 in, pause for 2, and breathe to a count of 6 out. As you exhale, picture dusk deepening to indigo, a first star appearing above the roofline, then another, then a modest constellation. Remember a kindness from today, a message, a shared laugh, the way late light touched a wall. Let that memory be a small candle you carry into the dark. Gratitude does not erase anxiety. It gives it company and context. The psalmist paraphrases in the heart, "You have put more joy in me than sudden windfalls can buy." There is a quiet gladness that stays. Let it sit with you now. If sleep feels slow to arrive, do not scold yourself. The aim is not to force it. The aim is to dwell in safety. Safety can be felt even before sleep fully comes. The shepherd of your soul keeps the night watch. You are not in charge of the world tonight, and that is mercy. Even your breath is borrowed and blessed, and should you wake later, the psalm will still be here, like a friend on the line. Return to that sentence and trace each word with your breath. Inhale, peace, exhale. I, inhale, will, exhale. Lie, inhale, down, exhale, and inhale, sleep, exhale. By the time you reach the end of the sentence, you may already be drifting. May homes across the world become small sanctuaries as you listen. Apartments above busy streets, quiet farmhouses, dorm rooms, hospital wards where machines blink softly. May the Lord set a circle of calm around each bed. May every anxious thought find a place to rest, and every tired body discover again that sleep is safe because love is near. Be still on your bed, dear friend, and let the wide mercy of God give you room. Rest now. You are kept. Imagine waking into a morning that is gentle from the first moment. The light at the window is soft and kind, the air cool and welcoming. You swing your feet to the floor and feel woven grass beneath your soles, not carpet, dew-laced, springy, alive. A path opens ahead, bordered by wildflowers that keep their voices low. Somewhere nearby, a stream speaks in silver syllables, and the world keeps an unhurried tempo. This is where the shepherd begins your day. He knows the way that is kindest to the heart. Not the quickest, not the loudest, not the one that makes headlines, but the path that keeps your breathing steady. He walks slightly ahead, looking back with a smile that says, "I know how much you can carry today." When a hill rises, he shortens the slope with switchbacks. When heat gathers, he leads through a fold of shade where the wind is sweet with pine. There is a place to lie down, green, quiet, without the grit of old regret. You do not have to earn this patch of rest. You simply receive it. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. The words have the weight of memory, like melodies you learned before you knew their names. You kneel and drink from the surface of the stream. The water is cool as mercy, clean as a new thought. Each swallow seems to rinse a corner of your mind that worry had smudged. The shepherd carries a rod and a staff. To a stranger, these might look like relics, but to you they are reassurance, one to guard, one to guide. When your step drifts toward bramble, the staff curves around your waist and draws you back with a gentleness that never bruises. When something moves in the tall grass with a wrong intention, the rod speaks before fear does, and whatever threatened fades like a shadow at noon. There are other flocks and other roads. From the ridge you can see caravans of hurry, crowds that carry banners of urgency. They shout about scarcity and elbow forward for the next bright thing. The shepherd does not glare at them. He simply sets a pace that belongs to health. You follow, surprised at how much distance can be covered when the soul is not burning itself as fuel. A valley appears, narrow, shaded, a place where even birds lower their voices. You hesitate at the entrance. Everyone does. The ground here is uneven, and echoes can magnify small sounds into something larger. You step after him anyway, because he doesn't vanish into the dark. He stays where you can see him. Your hand brushes the rock wall and comes away cool. Far above, a seam of blue sky stitches the cliffs together. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. The sentence is not a dare. It is a description. You are walking through, not settling in. The shepherd's steps are measured. Yours match his cadence, and in that rhythm, you sense a courage that does not shout. In the middle of the valley, there is a pause. He lets you rest on a ledge where the stone is warmed by light that reaches in at an angle. You look back and realize how far you have come, past the tree that split in a storm, past the boulder that looks like a crouched animal from one side and a throne from the other. You look forward and see the narrowing widen. The valley has a mouth that opens to meadow again. The shepherd knows all the exits. When you emerge, the air surprises you with the scent of bread. On a table spread beneath a solitary fig, there are bowls and plates that make no sense in the wilderness. Baked loaves with crackled crusts, oil that shimmers like afternoon, grapes that hold a sweetness the tongue had almost forgotten. This is not a feast to show strangers how well you are doing. It is nourishment before continuing. He pours a measure of oil over your head, and it runs cool along your temples, easing the tightness beneath your skin. Your cup does not merely fill. It answers gravity with generosity and brims over the rim. Scarcity looks away, embarrassed. You learn something at that table. Goodness and mercy are not occasional guests. They are companions. They do not need to be hunted down. They keep company with those who keep company with the shepherd. When you rise to go, they rise too, like faithful dogs who sleep with one ear open. The path curls along terraces. Children run ahead and leave footprints that look like quotation marks in the dust, as if the land were speaking. A shepherd from another field lifts a hand in greeting, and your shepherd answers, "There is no rivalry in care." A sheep from the other flock bleats in worry until it hears the tone it recognizes and settles. You notice how much of leadership is simply voice, a sound that a heart has learned to trust. You reach water again, slower here, broadened into a pool where swallows sketch blue arcs on the surface. The shepherd invites you to stand at the edge, and watch the sky float in the reflection. You see cloud. You see light. You see your face looking back without that pinch between the brows that anxiety draws. Your soul is restored not all at once, and not by magic, but by companionship, provision, and rhythm, by the geography of care. Later, when shadows lengthen, you walk toward a house. Its door is plain, the wood old and loved, the lintel worn smooth by hands. On the threshold, the shepherd pauses and gestures as if to say, "This is yours too. My home is your home." Not for an hour, not for a season only, but for as long as days are counted. You step inside and notice how every room is arranged for peace. A chair that fits your back, a window that frames trees, a lamp that keeps gentle company. There are no corners stacked with what-ifs, no drawers full of should-haves. There is only hospitality. You sit. The shepherd does not hover. He moves about with the quiet skill of one who knows where everything lives. He sets a bowl of fruit on the table, leaves a folded blanket on the arm of your chair, opens the window just enough for night air to drift in. The house breathes. Your shoulders drop in increments you barely perceive. The day's static leaves like smoke through the flue. When sleep gathers, it does not pounce. It approaches like a friend who knows your name and knocks softly. You go to the room prepared for you. The sheets hold the day's story without judgment and invite an unworried end to it. You whisper a final thanks, not a performance, only breath shaped into gratitude. The shepherd's steps pass down the hall, unhurried, unafraid. You know that if anything stirs outside, his rod will speak first. If a thought rises too sharply, his staff will gather it and guide it back to rest. You do not plan tomorrow from the pillow. The house has tomorrow in its pantry. The path has tomorrow in its map. Mercy has tomorrow in its stride. What is needed will be ready, and what is not will fall away without your help. Love and protection will follow you out the door at daybreak. And when evening returns, the house will know your steps on the path, and the table will be set again. So you yield to the quiet. The meadow waits beyond the window. The water keeps its silver whisper, and the shepherd keeps watch while you sleep. Nothing essential is in danger. You are cared for in the night, and you will be cared for in the morning. There's a kind of darkness that is not hostile, only deep, like a lake at midnight. You stand at its edge, listening. Somewhere out there, a small boat moves with a single oar, and on the far shore, a window glows with a steady flame. You are not lost. You are between lights. Psalm 27 teaches a way to be here without shrinking. It begins with an announcement more like a sunrise than a shout. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? It is not denial. It is orientation. When you face the light, shadows fall behind you. Think of fears like chairs scattered in a room, each one with a name: rejection, failure, the phone call you haven't returned, the diagnosis you fear might come, the bill that waits on the table. Tonight, you are not required to stack them or throw them out. You simply turn the lamp a little brighter and notice that each chair is just a chair. Some you will sit on tomorrow. Some you will carry outside. Some will prove to be coats thrown over empty seats, appearing larger than they are. For now, you breathe. Courage in this psalm is not a drumbeat. It is a hand on the latch, opening a door into a quiet house. Inside, there is one request repeated like a hush: to dwell, to behold, to inquire. No frantic tasks. A single desire gathers the scattered mind. You walk slowly down a hallway lined with remembered mercies, moments when help arrived without trumpets, when the right word found you, when a friend texted at the exact minute the ache peaked. You arrive in a room where the light is gentle and angled, and a chair faces a window. Sit. You are allowed to sit and look, and let your heart loosen its knots. Outside, circumstances are not suddenly simple. The psalm speaks of adversaries and false witnesses, of armies and encampments. Anxiety recognizes this vocabulary. It lives with unannounced what-ifs. But the psalmist has learned the geometry of shelter. He will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will lift me high upon a rock. Hear the verbs: hide, conceal, lift. You are not asked to become stone. You are invited to stand somewhere sturdier than your feelings. Imagine an elevated porch above a wide plain. The wind moves in long ribbons. Far away, the causes of worry still exist, but they have lost their ability to fill the whole sky. The porch posts are carved with promises you have heard since childhood, and the floorboards hold the memory of dances you forgot you knew. Standing here, your chest opens to air that has traveled miles to reach you. Let it in. On the exhale, let go of the posture that tries to control every outcome. Your value is not measured by your anticipation of disasters. Sometimes fear speaks with an echo, repeating the same sentence until it sounds like a crowd. The psalm responds with a different echo. My heart says of you, seek his face. Your face, Lord, I will seek. Seeking is not scrambling. It is turning toward a presence already present. Lift your attention like lifting a curtain. What do you notice when you lift? The texture of the moment, the hum of a refrigerator, a neighbor's distant laugh, the fatigue in your shoulders, the kindness that underlies existence. Let that kindness be the climate in which your thoughts drift. Tonight, courage may look like unhurriedness. Anxiety pushes. Courage chooses pace. Anxiety narrates catastrophe. Courage tells the quieter truth that help has a history. You can name it. The meal that came when money was short. The perseverance you did not know you had until you were midway through a storm. The way grief taught you to be gentle with yourself and others. These are not small. They are stones in a path that leads you safely through tall grass. You might remember a time you waited for news. Waiting can be a room with no clock, a hallway with too many doors. Psalm 27 ends with a sentence that does not scold your slowness. It steadies it. Wait for the Lord. Be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Read it like instructions for lighting a candle. You find the match, you strike it carefully, you cup your hand against the draft, you touch flame to wick, you wait as the wick darkens and then takes fire. Nothing rushed. The room becomes softly visible. Waiting is not emptiness, it is preparation for recognition. Perhaps part of your fear is loneliness, the worry that if others saw how anxious you feel, they would step back. The psalmist knows abandonment. Though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will take me in, he says in another breath. You are not a burden here. In this house, your trembling is met with welcome, not weariness. If you need to cry, the table has tissues. The chair has arms that support you. If you need to say nothing, silence is a friend who sits beside you without checking the time. There may also be regret, words spoken sharply, choices made in haste, promises kept to others, but not to your own body's need for rest. Lay them down like jackets on a bed. You can fold them later. Tonight, the invitation is simpler. Lift your chin. Open your hands. Receive a blessing you did not earn. Let the sentence, "The Lord is my light," be a soft lantern you set on the floor at the foot of your worries. Light always reveals that monsters are stacked laundry and that footsteps in the hall are the house settling into comfort. If you wish, practice a small act of courage. It might be as quiet as turning your phone face down, letting unanswered things remain unanswered until morning. It might be releasing control over a conversation you have rehearsed 100 times. It might be forgiving yourself for not doing everything today. Courage in this psalm is not bravado. It is alignment with goodness. It is laying your head down because love stands watch. As you drift, imagine the far window you saw at the start, the steady flame on the opposite shore. In your mind, step into the small boat. The oar is smooth in your hands. You do not hurry. Water parts around the bow and closes behind without complaint. Stars arrange themselves like gentle punctuation across a dark page. With each pull, the light grows nearer until you can see the outline of a home, the door slightly ajar, a figure waiting with a patient smile. You are expected. You have always been expected. When you reach the dock, you tie the line without fumbling. The boards creak a welcome. The figure does not rush you. He matches your slow pace to the door. Inside, the room smells faintly of cedar and something sweet, perhaps bread or citrus. A chair stands by a hearth where embers keep a soft, constant glow. On the table is a simple note. You are safe here. You are loved here. Rest as long as you need. You sit. You breathe. The night is not an adversary. It is a cloak around a friend. Let the cloak settle on your shoulders. Let your heartbeat find an even meter. If fear knocks again, it will hear you humming a line older than your worry. Light, salvation, strength, shelter. These are the furnishing of this house, and they are yours. Close your eyes. The shore is quiet. The lamp does not waver. Morning will come, and you will rise to it with a heart that remembers where courage lives. There are evenings when the world feels a little unstitched. Sirens in the distance, headlines that crowd the edges of your mind, a tremor you cannot name traveling through your chest. Psalm 46 speaks to nights like these, not with frantic solutions, but with a strong, quiet presence. Think of a solid building in the center of a city, lights low in the windows, doors open, a place anyone can enter when the wind turns sharp. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. The sentence is simple, yet it carries the weight of 1,000 assurances. You step across the threshold and close the door gently behind you. Inside, the air is warm, and a hush settles around your shoulders like a shawl. The psalm imagines unrest so large that creation itself seems to heave. Earth giving way, mountains sliding, waters roaring and foaming. It names the kind of chaos that makes you feel small. When your personal ground has shifted, plans canceled, health uncertain, relationships strained, the imagery finds you. But it does not leave you at the cliff's edge. It guides you inward to a steadier scene, a river that runs through a city of God, a stream that makes the heart glad. While the outer world shakes, the inner world flows. Picture that river now, moving beneath bridges, slipping past stones smoothed by years, carrying light the way a mirror carries sky. It is not a torrent. It is patient. On its banks, willow branches trail their fingers in the current, Lanterns swing lightly from hooks along the walkways, and a watchman with an unhurried step keeps an eye on the night. There is room to breathe here. Inhale gently through your nose, count to 3, and let the breath touch the back of your throat. Exhale to 4, and imagine the river carrying that breath onward, past worry's sharp corners, into an open reach where the water widens. Within this refuge, you find a small room with stone walls and a wooden bench polished by the years. A kettle sits on an iron trivet, steam painting soft shapes in the lamplight. You sit and feel the bench receive your weight. On the wall is a map, coastline, mountains, valleys, but a thin blue line threads all of it, connecting high springs to distant seas. Someone has written beside the line, in a careful hand, steady beneath everything. You trace the route with your eyes and realize the note is less about geography and more about the soul. Outside, nations rage. The psalm says so. Strategies clash, the ground trembles under heavy boots, and smoke smudges the horizon. Anxiety understands this music, the drumbeat of what-ifs, the trumpet of urgency. But listen again. Another sound rises in the psalm, the snapping of boughs, the breaking of spears, the burning of chariots. Not destruction for destruction's sake, but the ending of weapons, the closing of campaigns. Imagine a long field where, after a storm, the sun lifts through torn clouds and the wet grass gleams. Old engines of harm are left to rust while birds stitch quiet back into the day. If your inner world is felt like a borderland, on alert, scanning faces, reading between lines, allow this psalm to lower the flag. It does not do so by denying threats. It does so by revealing a monarch whose presence stabilizes streets and seasons. God is in the midst of her. The psalm says of the city, she shall not be moved. Hear the word in your body, not moved, not flung, not scattered, not erased. There is a still center that does not surrender to tides. You may ask, where is that center when my hands shake? The answer is not far from your pulse. Place 2 fingers lightly at your wrist and count 4 steady beats. There it is, the small metronome that keeps time even when your thoughts rush. Match breath to beat. In for 4, out for 6. Longer on the exhale, as if emptying a vessel slowly to avoid spilling. With each exhale, let one worry set down its backpack and sit. You are not solving, you are settling. Through a high window, you can see a bell tower. It does not clang, it marks the hour with a soft, measured tone. One note, then another, with a pause long enough for the sound to travel through the alleys and return as a whisper. This is how assurance works. It is sounded in one corner of your life, perhaps a memory of being helped, perhaps a phrase that has carried you before, and then it travels, echoing through other corners until the whole house remembers. Midway through the night, a gentle instruction arrives, more invitation than command. Be still and know that I am God. The words do not scold your pacing, they offer a chair. Be still, not frozen, not numb, but eased. No, not in a test-taking way, but in the way you know the feel of your own name, the shape of your front door key, the scent of rain on warm sidewalk. I am God, not a smaller version of you, not a projection of your fears, but the one who keeps the river running beneath streets and the stars threaded through dark. Let this sentence dissolve into layers. Be still and know. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. With each layer, The mind releases a little, like a fist unclosing finger by finger. If you prefer pictures to words, see yourself as a snow globe set down after being shaken. The flakes do not stop falling because you command them to. They settle because nothing more is stirring the water. Stillness happens within a kept environment. You stand and walk to the threshold again. Outside, night air holds the smell of rain and distant pine. The city's surfaces shine, cobbles, iron railings, the bronze on the watchman's lantern. In the distance, thunder speaks in a baritone that never hurries. You listen without bracing. Even in storm, the river moves cleanly within its banks. The shelter behind you is not a place you must leave to be strong. It is a place you can carry within you. The psalm is less a building than a way of being, fortified and flowing. If memories visit, hard ones with sharp edges, days when the earth beneath you did give way, let them enter and sit. Pour tea for them. You are not alone with them now. The presence that is very present joins you at the table, and the heat leaves those memories like mist, leaving a field as the sun climbs. Pain may not vanish, but it loses its power to forecast your entire sky. Close the door gently and return to the bench for a moment more. Look again at the map on the wall, the thin blue line threading it all. Imagine that line running through your day tomorrow, beneath phone calls, beneath commuting, beneath difficult emails and unexpected kindness. You do not have to manufacture calm. You can align with it. You do not have to hold the world together. You can be held. When you finally lie down, feel the mattress lift you like water lifts a resting swimmer. The river and the refuge meet here. Strong support, easy drift. Let your jaw unclench, your hands fall open, your brow smooth. What needs to end tonight will end without your forcing it. What needs to begin will have fresh light. For now, the city is kept, the river is steady, and the bell tower knows the hour. Be still and sleep. You are safe. There is a smaller way to live that does not mean less. It means lighter. Imagine a room at the top of a narrow stair, a room with a low window and a view of rooftop chimneys. The air up here tastes simple, like bread cooling on a sill. No posters crowd the walls, no stacks lean in threatening towers. There is one chair, one folded blanket, a small shelf with a cup and a candle. You enter and feel your chest drop a notch. Psalm 131 belongs to rooms like this. It is a short psalm, a soft psalm, a steadying hand on an anxious shoulder. I have calmed and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother. Not frantic, not demanding, resting because love is near, not because every question has been answered. Anxiety often rises with bigness. Big plans, big comparisons, big outcomes to control. The psalm begins by stepping back from high ladders. My heart is not lifted up, he says. My eyes are not raised too high. This is not shrinking from calling or refusing excellence. It is letting go of heights that belong to God, declines that are not yours to prevent, and timelines that refuse to be tamed. Picture a thick rope tied around your waist, the other end attached to a hot air balloon of expectations. You have let the balloon tug you from one grand idea to another until your feet barely touched ground. Tonight, you find the knot and loosen it. The balloon rises and becomes a harmless coin of color in the distance. Your feet know cobblestone again. In the small room, place your palm on the wood of the window frame. It is smooth where hands have leaned for decades to watch rain. Below, a street vendor closes a cart, covering ripe fruit with burlap. A cat crosses the lane, certain and quiet. The world keeps happening, but not every happening requires your opinion or attendance. Some worries derive their power from your constant surveillance. When you stop checking their pulse every 5 minutes, they often discover they are not as urgent as they claimed. Think of the image the psalm chooses: a weaned child. Not an infant crying for immediate milk, but a little one who has learned to trust the mother's presence, separate from the mother's gift. The child leans in, content to be close without bargaining for what comes next. Anxiety bargains. If I do this, then that will happen. If I control this, then I'll be safe. The psalm offers a different economy. Presence first, provision in season. You are allowed to rest your head and breathe, not because the calendar is empty or the inbox is solved, but because you are held by something kinder than outcomes. Try a practice. List 3 things you do not need to understand tonight. Say them softly, as if telling a friend who will not write them down or use them against you. Perhaps it is how a certain conversation will unfold next week. Perhaps it is the full map of a health concern. Perhaps it is why someone did not text back. Place each unknown like a folded letter into a wooden box on the shelf. Close the lid. You can reopen it tomorrow under sunlight. For now, what you do not need to understand can safely remain ununderstood. Pride is not only strutting. Sometimes it is the refusal to rest until you have solved everything. It looks like a heroic posture, but inside it grinds the gears of the heart. The psalmist sets down that armor. Picture a coat rack by the door with heavy jackets labeled explain, impress, win, prove. Lift each sleeve and feel the weight leave your shoulders. Beneath, you are wearing something lighter: ordinary kindness, honest effort, patient waiting. You do not need applause from the hallway. You need breath that reaches the deep rooms of your lungs. Let your breathing become prayer without words. Inhale through the nose for 4, hold for 1, and exhale for 6. As you exhale, imagine the room itself exhaling. The candle's flame leaning, the curtain breathing out, the chair easing under your back. With each breath, say quietly, I am quieting my soul. Not once, but again, because quiet often arrives in layers. The first layer is simple relief. The second is clarity. The third is durable peace. There is a difference between ignorance and trust. Ignorance refuses to look. Trust looks and then releases. The psalmist does not pretend there is nothing to be concerned about. He has simply learned the art of not meddling with mysteries too great or too marvelous for him. Perhaps you have stood outside offices where decisions were being made without your input. Perhaps you have refreshed news and felt only the familiar ache behind your eyes. Tonight, acknowledge the rooms where you are not invited to carry authority. Bless the ones who are called to sit there. Then return to the call that is yours, to be faithful in the small square of time and place you inhabit, to love those within arm's reach, to accept being a creature, not the creator. If your inner child has cried for immediate comfort, sweets, scrolls, distractions, meet that child with patience. You are not scolding, you are soothing. Offer a better sweetness, a story told softly, a window opened to night air, the simple companionship of sitting without tasks. The weaned child rests not because the world is perfect, but because someone trustworthy is near. Who is near tonight? the one whose steady attention has followed you through seasons, who has held you when you were smaller, and who holds you now that you are older and more tired. At the end of the psalm comes a widening. O Israel, hope in the Lord from this time forth and forevermore. Personal quiet expands into communal hope. Your small room's window opens not only to chimneys, but to a city of other rooms where other weary people are learning the same posture. Somewhere, a nurse on break leans against cool tile and breathes. Somewhere, a new parent finally sleeps while a monitor blinks. Somewhere, a teacher stacks papers and resists the urge to grade one more and instead chooses rest. All of you, a quiet alliance, placing weight where it belongs. Simplify the night. If your mind offers 5 projects, choose none. If it offers 3 worries, write 2 down and let the 3rd float. Make a small tea if you like. Hold the warmth in your hands and let the cup teach your body the meaning of held. Open the window a crack. Hear a bicycle pass. Hear voices fade. Let the world be the world without your policing. The one who neither slumbers nor sleeps is not asking you to take the night shift. Before you lie down, speak to your heart as you would to a patient friend. You do not have to climb the whole mountain tonight. It is enough to take off your boots and rest in the valley. It is enough to be small and loved. It is enough to breathe and release. The child in the psalm is not ashamed to be carried. You are not weaker for receiving comfort. You are wiser. Blow out the candle. The room remembers your shape and keeps it like a blessing. The stair is narrow, but your steps are sure. As you settle under the blanket, let the smallest prayer rise like a sigh. Keep me small in the right ways and steady in the ways that matter. Keep me quieted like that child, unafraid of silence, untouched by the itch to prove. Let the night do its work. Let the heart be calmed. Let sleep come as a friend, not a prize. Some nights carry a hush that feels uncertain, as if the dark has questions it might ask. You hear the house settle, a pipe sigh, the brief tick of a cooling vent. Outside, a car door closes and footsteps recede. You lie there, alert to small sounds, the way travelers are in unfamiliar rooms. Psalm 91 was given for nights like this. It is a map of shelter, less a fortress of stone than a presence that encircles you the way a cloak wraps a weary body. The psalm opens with a dwelling place, the shelter of the Most High, the shadow of the Almighty. Imagine a courtyard tucked behind a quiet door, lanterns dimmed to golden embers, a fountain murmuring with gentle persistence. Vines climb the walls and soften the edges of everything. The air tastes clean, as if the day's worries have burned off like haze after sunrise. You step inside, and the hinge does not creak. The door closes with a soft click, and something in your shoulders understands. Safe. You find a long bench beneath an arbor. The wood is warm from keeping company with the afternoon light. Set down what you carried in, bags with labels like "What if" and "What then" and "What did I miss?" In this place, bags keep their shape, but not their power. A hand you cannot see lifts them one by one and tucks them in a corner, where they wait without demanding attention. You are not abandoning responsibilities. You are resting under wiser watch. The psalm gives words for a vow you can whisper. You are my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. Not because you have mastered calm, but because calm has found you and offered a seat. A breeze moves the leaves, and shade patterns wander across the ground like friendly shadows. Somewhere a night bird calls and receives its answer from farther off. You are not alone in this darkness. The world is breathing too, and the one who invented breath is near. Fear often travels by rumor, unseen threats, half-remembered headlines, a ping from your phone after midnight. In the older language of the psalm, these rumors wore names like terror by night and arrow by day, pestilence that stalks in darkness and destruction at noon. You do not have to translate every metaphor to feel their shape. They are the unspecific dreads that make your body brace without instructions. The psalm does not minimize them. It places them in a wider frame. You will not fear the terror of the night. Say that slowly, as if teaching your pulse to read. You will not fear. Not because night has no terrors, but because love outsizes them here. You notice the architecture of this refuge. There are no gaps at the baseboards for worry to crawl through. The roofline holds steady, even when wind presses its palm against it. A small window opens to stars, and the stars do not blink in alarm. They shine like faithful watchmen who keep the slow hours. On a shelf sits a feather. Beside it, a folded cloak. The feather is from a large bird. Strong shaft, soft vein, made for covering. The cloak is lined with warmth that does not overheat. The psalm says, "He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge." Imagine yourself gathered, not confined, held, not hidden away as if you were an embarrassment. There is a lull here that is not empty. It is full of attendance. If you listen, you can almost hear the sound of sandals in the hall, measured and unhurried, checking doors and trimming lamps. The attendants of this house, angels, the psalm says, bear you up, their care precise as hands, guiding a child around a low step in the dark. You are not burdensome to them. It is their joy to keep watch. They have kept watch over many before you and will keep watch when you are long asleep. Sometimes the mind asks, but what about harm that has already come? The psalm is not a spell to erase history. It is a presence that threads even pain with companionship. Think of a scar on your skin, how it tells the truth about a wound and the truth about healing at once. In this courtyard, scars are not defects. They are stories in a language of survival. You are safe to rest your hand over them. You are safe to sleep while they continue their quiet work. If you want, take a slow walk around the fountain. Water arcs and falls, with the patience of a heartbeat. Name aloud, so softly you can barely hear yourself, the things that usually rouse you at 3 a.m. Name them without explanation. Let each one pass under the water's sound and emerge a shade lighter. Where you would normally pick them up again, keep your hands open. Trust is not refusal to plan. It is a choice to sleep before planning, to let morning offer its light before you sketch the day's map. Across the courtyard, an alcove holds a bed, prepared with linen smooth as quiet. Above it hangs a simple lamp, no harsh glare, just a gentle circle of light. You draw back the cover and discover its weight is exactly enough to convince your body to surrender. The pillow learns the curve of your neck, and the mattress holds you evenly, no part left suspended. Breathing deepens of its own accord. The first long exhale leaves like a bird taking flight. Another follows, another lands. You are not commanding rest, you are consenting to it. The psalm speaks of rescue and long life. of being answered when you call. In this house, answers are not always sentences. Sometimes they are arrangements, help arriving in people and timing rather than in explanations. Sometimes they are simply the strength to wait without despair. Tonight, let the answer be the ease that enters your limbs. Let it be the settled knowing that you are protected in ways you cannot inventory. And if the mind wants a line to hold as you drift, take this one and place it under your tongue like a small, sweet lozenge. You will not fear the terror of the night. Let it dissolve into your bloodstream. Let it mingle with breath and heartbeat until the sentence is no longer only something you say, but something that says you. Unfearful under wings, restful under watch, small, beloved, and safe. The door remains quietly latched. The lantern does not sputter. The vine leaves sketch soft shadows that sway and settle, like the sea at peace after wind. Somewhere a kettle ticks itself cool. Somewhere a distant train hums and is gone. You're inside the shadow of the Almighty, and that shadow is light to your soul. When morning comes, and it will, you will find your bags where you left them, but lighter than before. Some will be empty and ready to be folded away. Some will carry only what belongs to that day. The rest you can leave in the corner, labeled for a later sorting that will not be hurried. For now, draw the cloak over your shoulders. Feel the feather's softness without needing to see the wing. Let your eyes close without argument. You are kept. You are covered. Sleep. Dawn is still a rumor when you step outside. The air holds its breath, and the sky is a shade between ink and milk. The road begins at your door, like a ribbon laid overnight. You pause at the threshold, because thresholds matter. Every going out carries a question, and every coming in hopes for an answer. Psalm 121 opens for travelers like you, those whose feet must move even when the heart is tired. You lift your gaze toward the faint outline of hills, their shoulders dark against the paling east, and you let the first line rise inside you like a small flame. My help comes from the Lord. You are not walking alone, though you may not see companions yet. Somewhere ahead, a baker opens his shop and breathes flour into the morning. Somewhere behind, a neighbor coughs and draws a shawl tighter. Birds test the day with a few cautious notes. The road is honest. It asks nothing except your next step, and the psalm offers a promise for each step, a keeper who watches, not with a clipboard and frown, but with a steady, tender attention that never grows thin. The hills are not warnings. They are witnesses. They stand where they have stood through wars and weddings, through drought and plenty, through your childhood summers and the winter when grief learned your name. Lifting your eyes does not erase trouble. It resizes it. Against the breadth of God's making, the tightness in your chest loosens a notch. The road inclines and your calves wake, but you do not hurry. Pace is part of trust. Keeper is the psalm's favorite word, repeating like a heartbeat. The keeper does not doze. He who keeps you will not slumber. The psalm says, and the words soften the edge of a common fear, that the moment you cease to watch, something essential will fall. You have watched so hard for so long. Watch the bank account, the diagnosis, the mood in a room, the traffic for your loved one's safe arrival. Let the keeper keep while you walk. Imagine a hand above your head. not pressing down, but shading, steady as a tree that offers shelter at noon. On the path, small things become sacraments. A pebble rolls underfoot and clicks against another, a tiny percussion that measures distance. Dew beads along a blade of grass, and when your pant leg brushes it, the cool starts a chain of waking along your skin. You pass a milestone carved with a number that has faded, and you think of how days wear their meaning slowly, not all at once. Help often arrives this way, not in a shout, but in a series of quiet provisions, water at the right turn, a bench precisely when your knees ask for one, a word from a friend appearing in your phone before your courage thins. As the light gathers, the world shows its textures. The bark on an old plane tree flakes like maps. A field just beyond the ditch offers rows like lines of poetry the earth is learning by heart. The psalm promises that the sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. You remember seasons when long afternoons scorched patience to tinder. You remember nights when the moon's pale pull felt like a tide on your nerves. The promise does not deny heat or night. It assures you that exposure is not your story's author. You are held inside a care that knows how to measure light and shadow for your good. A traveler joins you at a bend, her pack worn smooth where hands have adjusted its straps 1,000 times. You walk side by side without the fuss of introductions. There is comfort in the simple cadence of 2 sets of feet keeping the same time. After a while, she points ahead to a low stone wall with a pitcher resting in its shade. For the walkers, she says, and you nod. You drink, and the water is ordinary and perfect, tasting faintly of clay and colder than you expected. A small sign beside the pitcher reads, "Take what you need, leave what you can." You leave a quiet blessing and a wordless thank you, which are sometimes the same thing. The watchfulness of the keeper is not suspicious. It is parental in the best sense, present in the small risks you no longer notice. When your lace loosens, you sense to tie it before the next stretch of gravel. When a dog barks sharply from behind a fence, the path happens to veer away, sparing you both the standoff. A truck passes, and wind lifts the edge of your jacket, and you feel the invisible tilt of protection, like a hand guiding a child around a puddle that would have soaked socks for hours. None of it is flashy. All of it is love. There is a chapel by the roadside, barely large enough for 3 chairs and a window. You step inside for the quiet. Someone has left a taper, its wick bowed and white. You don't need to light it. The day itself has begun to glow. A journal lies open on a table, its last line written in a careful hand. Keep his going out and his coming in. You lay your palm on the page. Your life has many thresholds, doors you open to go to work, doors you close to rest, calls you answer, calls you let ring to voicemail. Beginnings you choose, endings that choose you. The psalm circles all of them with its promise. The Lord will keep your going out and your coming in, from this time forth and forevermore. You step back onto the road, and the hills are now green and gold, their faces changed by daylight. The other traveler turns up toward a vineyard and lifts a hand. You bless her path in your heart and continue. Anxiety tries sometimes to measure the whole distance at once, to hoard worry for every mile you have not yet walked. The psalm teaches you to travel one kept moment at a time. The maker of the hills is not short on attention. You do not need to stockpile vigilance. The compassion that met you at your door is already waiting for you around the next turn. If you will, practice a small liturgy. With your next dozen steps, pair each footfall with a word: kept, now, kept, now, kept, now. Let the rhythm lean you away from forecasting and into presence. If your mind leaps ahead to the hard conversation or the crowded appointment book, answer it with a kind sentence. Today, I am accompanied. Not convinced? Look back. Think of a day that should have broken you, but did not. Think of a night you thought would have no end and yet gave way to morning. The keeper was there, anonymous as good weather, faithful as breath. By mid-morning, the road lowers toward a town. Smoke goes up from a chimney, straight as a thread stitched into sky. You pass a gate left open on purpose and feel the pleasure of ease. The psalm is doing its slow work. It is teaching your body to unclench, your jaw to soften, your brow to smooth. It is replacing the habit of scanning for danger with the habit of noticing guardianship. You are not naive. You are cared for. That difference is the difference between constant bracing and bearable living. You buy a small loaf from the baker you imagined earlier. He wraps it in paper and smiles as if he knows the relief a heel of warm bread can bring. You sit on a low step, break the loaf, and eat without hurrying. The simplest food becomes a Eucharist of the road, help for the next mile, joy for this one. The keeper's attention is not only for crises, it is for crumbs and cups and the quiet nutrients of ordinary days. When you eventually turn toward home, the hills are behind you, still watching, now blue with distance. The door you left in shadow is waiting in sunlight. You put your hand on the latch and feel the strange and good sensation of having been kept both out there and in here. The psalm's promise wraps the threshold like an embrace. You are going out, blessed. You're coming in, blessed. You sense that even in sleep, when you go out from wakefulness and come into dreams, the keeping holds. As evening gathers, you remember the day not as a contest you won, but as a pilgrimage you were guided through. Your feet are tender in honest ways. Your mind is not raw from scanning. You whisper once more what the dawn taught you to say, "My help comes from the Lord." Then you let the sentence finish itself inside you, without your pushing. Help has a long reach. Keeping has a long memory. Love has a long watch. Lay down. The keeper does not clock out. The door is gently latched from the inside and the outside, a mystery of double keeping. Your breath slows. The hills are now only silhouettes again, but their witness stands. You are accompanied in all your thresholds, guarded in every passage, and steadied in your steps. Sleep enters as if it knows the way, which it does, because you are kept. Gratitude does not arrive as a trumpet. It often comes like a soft broom, sweeping the corners of a tired mind. In the hush before sleep, you notice unadvertised mercies. Lungs filling on their own, the blanket's calm weight, the lamp's patient circle. Psalm 103 invites this kind of noticing. It does not command a mood, it invites a posture. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits. Let the words be gentle hands on your shoulders, turning you from the scroll of complaints toward a table quietly set. Forgetting is easy when anxiety shouts. Remembering is a learned tenderness. Tonight, practice tender remembering, not a performance, only a slow inventory taken with the patience of someone shelling peas on a porch at dusk. Begin with the body that carries you. Touch the pulse at your wrist and nod to the hidden labor there. Thank the feet that ferried you through corridors and errands. Bless the heart that keeps practicing trust. If something aches, thank the body for speaking honestly. If something is healing, thank the quiet intelligence knitting what was torn. He heals, rarely by our diagrams, always with presence that stays. Move to the day's food, the ordinary bread that kept you from sharpness, the fruit that tasted of summer, the cup of water that steadied a wavering hour. Bless the hands that grew it, shipped it, stocked it, cooked it. Bless the unseen chain of care that brought simple nourishment to your table. Anxiety predicts scarcity. Gratitude counters with modest stories of provision. The envelope at the edge of need, the neighbor's soup when strength was small, the ride offered without fanfare. Let memory travel deeper. The psalm says he redeems your life from the pit. Recall a season when the ground dropped out and the air thinned. Picture a rope descending, not tossed in haste, but anchored by someone who went lower than anyone for you. Remember the lift, the first laugh after grief, the first unbroken sleep, the message that said, "We have a plan," when you had run out of maps. Bless those rescues. Bless timing that arrived like rain on a hard field. Now bless the crown you did not know you were wearing. The psalm calls it steadfast love and mercy. This is not jewelry for display. It is a soft circumference of belonging. Imagine a wreath of olive leaves set gently on your head. Mercy is not permission to avoid growth. It is the warm climate in which growth becomes possible. Love does not flatter. It tells the truth in a tone that does not bruise. You are not a project. You are a person being cherished into wholeness. Turn to the mind that has worked so hard. Thank it for solving and keeping lists. Then give it a Sabbath. Bless its limits. Let gratitude be a blanket pulled up to its chin. You do not have to rehearse the worst case tonight. Notice quiet gains, a calm response where anger once flared, a boundary honored, a nap taken without guilt, forgiveness begun if not finished. These are not small. They are revolutions that move on the hinge of gentleness. Psalm 103 widens from my soul to all creation, angels, hosts, works in all places of his dominion. Gratitude grows best when it grows outward. Bless the friend whose text was a hand on your back. Bless the nurse who taped a small note above the monitor. Bless the stranger whose laughter loosened something tight in you. Bless the child hopscotching the sidewalk, teaching your heart a steadier rhythm. You may worry that gratitude will make you naive, that naming good will dull vigilance. But gratitude is not denial, it is proportion. It returns the microphone to the full choir, so one harsh voice no longer dominates the room. It remembers benefits without pretending away pains. It says, "This too is true," and by saying it, makes room for breath. Keep a small ritual if you like. In your mind, place 5 smooth stones in a shallow bowl, 1 for forgiveness received, 1 for kindness given, 1 for help that surprised you, 1 for beauty that visited unannounced, 1 for strength to continue. Turn each stone in your fingers. Let the weight insist that goodness has substance. If tears come, that is still a form of thanks. The body releasing what it held too long. There is a line about youth renewed like the eagle's. You do not have to feel young for this to be true. Renewal is not reset. It is fresh capacity to rise on thermals you did not generate. Imagine an eagle circling above sunlit stone, wings unhurried, simply held by invisible warmth. Gratitude is such a thermal. It does not deny gravity, it partners with grace to make uplift possible. Allow forgiveness to enter the room. The psalm speaks of one who forgives all your iniquity. Tonight you might forgive yourself for being human, limited, sometimes late, sometimes less patient than you hoped. Perhaps you can forgive someone else just enough to sleep, even if tomorrow still needs a boundary. Forgiveness is not permission or forgetfulness. It is laying down the heavy spear so your hands are free to receive better tools. When forgetting creeps back, as it will, return here without shame, to this bowl of stones, this crown of mercy, this rope by the pit, this ordinary bread. Gratitude is not a test to pass. It is a path to walk, sometimes slowly, sometimes with pauses to catch your breath. Every step is welcome. Every small noticing is a door. As sleep draws near, trade requests for blessing. Let your last words be a benediction you give rather than a list you manage. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Bless like waves greeting shore by arriving. Bless like candles making a room gentle simply by being lit. Bless the ceiling and the floor, the window where night listens, the bed that receives your weight, your chest rising and falling. Let blessing be your final purposeful act before drifting. Now let the room dim. Let the plant fold its leaves. Let the refrigerator's hum carry you like a ferry across a dark bay. You have remembered enough for tonight. The one you bless is already blessing you back with rest as real as the pillow beneath your cheek. Sleep under the crown you cannot see but can feel. Sleep with a quieted ledger and an open hand. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not, even as the words fade and leave only their peace. Some nights are dry, dry in the mind, dry in the heart, as if worry were a wind that has blown for days and carried off the small pools where comfort used to gather. You lie awake, lips parted, not for words but for air that feels like water. Psalm 63 begins in a landscape like this. It does not pretend there is shade where there is none. It speaks from the wilderness. O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. The psalm does not scold your need. It dignifies it. Thirst becomes a kind of prayer your body knows how to speak, even when your mouth is quiet. Imagine open country under a moon that has burned down to a thin silver. The sand holds the day's heat in gentle pockets. A low breeze moves like a river you can hear but not see. Somewhere far off, a jackal calls, and the sound is brief, like a match struck and blown out. You are not lost here. You are learning the coordinates of longing. The landmarks are honest. Absence, ache, wishing you were home. The psalmists knew such coordinates and found them navigable by the star of God's nearness. Because your steadfast love is better than life, my lips will praise you. The sentence sounds bold until you realize it is born from midnight math. In a desert, life is water. To say love is better is to say that presence is deeper than circumstance, that to know you are not alone is more sustaining than a solved equation. It is not that solutions do not matter. It is that companionship makes solution survivable. Tonight, let that companionship be the cup held to your mouth. The psalm remembers a sanctuary, times and places where glory felt close enough to touch. You may have your own, a song that widened your heart. A summer evening when the whole street smelled of jasmine, and you thought, I could live on this. a kind word that landed in the exact spot where the ache had opened. Remembering is not nostalgia. It is drawing a thin thread from then to now. Follow it with your fingers. The thread leads not to a building, but to a person who has not relocated. You settle your body in a posture that tells your heart it can stop bracing. A hand rests on your belly, the other opens on the mattress like a leaf. In this open-handedness, you begin to notice small moisture returning, thoughts that are not parched, feelings that are not scalded. My soul will be satisfied as with marrow and fatness, the old translation says, and the images are earthy, broth rich enough to steady bones, bread spread with something nourishing. Let satisfaction be simple tonight, a swallow of water. The permission to close your eyes without finishing the spreadsheet in your mind, the kindness to speak to yourself as you would to a child who cannot sleep. Psalm 63 holds a line for the restless hours when clocks count too clearly. When I remember you upon my bed and meditate on you in the watches of the night. The night has watches, first, middle, last, like stations along a quiet railway. If you wake at the second station, do not accuse yourself. Keep company there. Imagine God beside you on the bench, not rushing the train. You might breathe a gentle rhythm, 4 counts in, 6 counts out, not as a trick, but as a way to stay with the one who keeps the watch with you. Between breaths, say one word that is water to you. Near or keep or love or hear. Let the word be a ladle drawing from an invisible well. Shelter returns in the psalm as shade. In the shadow of your wings, I will sing for joy. Shade at night? It sounds strange until you recall heat can live in memory and dangers can move without sun. The wing's shadow is a promise that does not clock out. Picture a great bird settled over the nest, feathers arching into a small cathedral. You are not trapped beneath those wings. You are framed by them. Air moves there. Heart beats slow there. Songs come back there, not as performance, but as humming you do, without thinking. The quiet music of not being alone. There is also the uplift of a hand. My soul clings to you. Your right hand upholds me. Clinging is not elegant. It is sometimes sweaty and always sincere. If tonight your faith feels like fingers gripping a sleeve, do not be ashamed. The more luminous truth sits in the second half. You are being held. Even clinging is sustained. If you cannot manage a long prayer, you can manage a reach. The answer, already begun, is the steadying pressure from above that says, I have you. Rest. Perhaps your dryness has a name that feels unshareable. A silent grief, a relationship that stays polite but cold, a question of purpose that no podcast will solve. Name it here with the privacy of someone whispering into a well. Whisper, then wait for the soft echo. Not because the well will answer, but because the waiting changes the shape of your need from frantic to honest. Honest thirst is easier to quench. Frantic thirst gulps and chokes. Tonight, honesty will do. Consider keeping a small vigil with the dawn. In the Psalms world, dew arrives before the day's heat. It settles on leaves and stone, on tents and hair, turning everything faintly silver until the sun lifts it into brightness. In your room, you might not see dew, but you can welcome its metaphor. As the sky on your side of the world lightens, ask for dew for your thoughts, a thin, cool grace that touches each worry and makes it glisten. Not so it looks pretty, but so you can see it clearly enough to place it where it belongs. Most worries belong on a list, not in your bloodstream, If you have memory of a word, keep it small. My God was the psalmist's choice, a 2-syllable shelter. Place it on your tongue the way a parched traveler places a drop of water there and waits before asking for more. Speak it once an hour if you wake, not as a rule, but as a way to let the hours be braided with recognition. Night will pass whether or not you pray. Prayer is a way to pass with it awake to mercy. The psalm looks honestly at opposition, those who hunt your life, tongues that cut. You may not be pursued by enemies in the sand, but you may be shadowed by self-accusation or by practical fears with sharp teeth. The psalm entrusts these to a justice that is not yours to stage. It lets God sort outcomes while the soul chooses sanctuary. Release is not irresponsibility. It is trust in a sovereign goodness that marks every trail. By now, a faint pallor is rising past the window. The dark has thinned to blue. In the east, a line of pearl draws itself along the horizon. Dew is happening somewhere. Your mouth is less dry. Your chest is less tight. The landscape inside you remains spare, but not hostile. You have water enough for the next miles. You have company for the rest of the night. Let your last movements be slow. Turn the pillow as if turning a page from worry to rest. Set your jaw at ease. Your tongue can rest on the soft roof of your mouth. My soul clings to you, you say once more, softer than a sigh. Your right hand upholds me. And with that, the desert is no longer an accusation. It is a place where love learns to be enough, where longing learns to sing under a wing, where dawn arrives not with noise but with kindness. Sleep now under the dew's promise. What has been dry will drink. What has been clenched will open. What has been lonely will be met. The night is almost over, and you are not alone in it. There is a room in the heart that most days stays closed because we are busy knocking on other doors. Tonight, let that room open. Inside, there is a plain chair, a small window, and a clock whose hands move but do not hurry. Psalm 62 belongs to this quiet interior. It teaches a practice that feels like sleep's older sister. For God alone, my soul waits in silence. The sentence is not a rule to clamp your jaw. It is an invitation to rest the voice that keeps explaining, defending, predicting. Here, your soul is allowed to lean back and breathe. Imagine setting your phone face down and hearing the soft click, like a pebble placed where the river wants a marker. The window holds a deepening blue, almost velvet. In the distance, a train murmurs. Somewhere, someone laughs in a kitchen and a pot lid clinks. Life continues. In this room, you are not absent from it. You are present to it without pressing. The psalm speaks of a rock, a fortress, a high place where the wind knows your name but cannot knock you down. Picture a headland that juts into the sea, stone long familiar with storm. Waves hurl themselves against it, and, after all the white froth and shout, draw back humbled into their native rhythm. You stand there, not daring the weather, simply watching, steadied by something sturdier than mood. The writer calls God a rock and a rescue, and the words feel like a hand at the small of your back, quietly correcting your posture. Waiting in silence is different from waiting with clenched teeth. It is not passive either. It is attention trained on a trustworthy center. If thoughts begin their parade, what about that email? What of the test result? What then with the rent? Let them pass in front of the window. You do not chase them into the street. You do not sign up beneath their banners. You note their colors, Nod without agreeing. And keep your seat. A cup of water on the table does not spill. The silence is not empty. It is a cup being filled with quiet assurance. The psalm knows about leaning structures, fences notched and sagging, walls bowed by age. Anxiety can make you feel like that fence. One more gust and you'll go over. In this room, the carpentry of the soul is tended. A brace is set beneath what wobbles. A craftsman checks the plumb line. You are not shamed for your tilt. You are straightened by care. Repairs are quiet, as good repairs often are. There is a repeated refrain, for God alone. The repetition is rhythm, not overkill. It keeps you from filling the blank with lesser anchors. We lean on praise one day and productivity the next, on other people's moods or on our cleverness. None of these are evil. They are simply not foundations. Tonight, let them off the hook. Let success step into the hallway and take a breath. Let other people be human, not saviors. Let cleverness sit down and remove its boots. Salvation and dignity rest elsewhere, and God alone bears that weight. Try an exercise. Picture your heart as a harbor. Boats have been coming and going all day. A boat named task, one named news, another named opinion, several named should. Blow a little horn and close the channel for the night. Tie up what must remain. Wave the rest out to deeper water. Harbor lights steady. The surface calms. In that stillness, you can feel a deeper tide. God's faithful movement beneath your surface. It lifts everything in its time. Pour out your heart before Him, the psalm continues. A kindness after all this quiet. Waiting does not forbid words. It makes better words possible. If something needs saying, say it here. Not polished, not arranged for effect. Spill. Tears count as speech. Sighs or sentences heaven already understands. After the pour, notice how the chest softens, how breath lengthens, how hands unclench. The psalm contrasts vapor with solidity. The low and the high alike are breath beside God's permanence. The rankings that keep us tense are weather. A headline can crown and uncrown in a day. The scale of what matters stretches beyond our charts. Set down the ruler you have been using on yourself. Trade it for a blessing. In this room, you do not measure. You receive. If you have trusted money to quiet you, you already know the trick. It promises silence and buys only temporary muffling. If you have trusted achievements, you know the sequel. Applause fades, and the room asks for another performance. The counsel here is gentle and firm. If riches increase, do not set your heart on them. Hearts set on moving targets never rest. Hearts set on the rock find their own gravity again. Listen for two sentences that close the psalm like bookends around the night. Power belongs to God. Steadfast love belongs to God. Power without love would bully. Love without power would merely wish. In the one who watches you breathe, they meet. You can sleep where both are true. A world kept by competent kindness does not need your supervision before dawn. Before you lie down, let the clock's hands complete one slow circuit while you do nothing useful. Feel how revolutionary that is. The window deepens to velvet. A planet hangs above the roofline like a small coin of assurance. The train has passed. Kitchen laughter becomes dishes and then quiet. Your chair creaks when you stand, as if blessing your leaving. When you settle into bed, choose one line to carry, not to analyze, only to cradle. For God alone my soul waits in silence. From Him comes my salvation. Hear it like waves on a shore you cannot see but know by sound. If you wake later, touch the words again, the way a hand finds a familiar railing in the dark. You are not trying to hold up the night. You are being held within it. Let the room of the heart close softly, not with a slam, but like a page turned. What remains is presence, strong as stone, gentle as a hand between the shoulder blades, patient as a clock that does not hurry you. Wait, then sleep. You are on the rock. You will not be greatly shaken. There is a relief so deep it almost feels like a yawn through the soul. The release that comes when you realize you do not have to perform to be kept. Psalm 139 lives in that relief. It begins not with what you know of God, but with what God knows of you. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. The sentence is not an interrogation light. It is a hearth's glow. To be searched here is to be seen without flinching, to be understood down to the small habits you think no one notices, the way you tap your thumb when you're anxious, the way you reread a text 3 times before sending your reply. None of it sends love away. Anxiety often springs from hiding, tugging a curtain closed over what feels too much, presenting the room we cleaned while hoping no one opens the door to the messy one. The psalm moves gently through rooms we keep shut. It names the daily geography of your life, when you sit and when you rise, your path and your lying down. Imagine a map drawn not with roads but with rhythms. The morning you wake and stare at the ceiling for a minute before moving, the commute where your mind drifts, the evening chair where your shoulders finally sink. The map is familiar to God. There is no surprise visit here. Presence dwells. You hem me in behind and before, and lay your hand upon me. The hem is not a trap. It is the neat stitch that keeps fabric from fraying. Picture a tailor patient at her work, running a line of thread that holds the edge against unraveling. Behind, before, and the calm weight of a hand, like a parent steadying a child in a crowd, not gripping, simply saying, "I'm here." Anxiety loosens when keeping is this intimate. If you have ever wanted to escape yourself, a flight to a city where no one knows your name, a wish to be someone whose thoughts behave, this psalm understands. Where shall I go from your spirit? Or where shall I flee from your presence? It answers by naming altitudes and depths, the heights where you feel competent and bright, the depths where you are sure you have ruined something beyond repair. The answer is not, you can't run. It is, I go with you. If I make my bed in Sheol, you are there. Even when the bed is a choice you regret, the presence does not leave. Love sits on the edge of that bed and keeps vigil until you rise. There is a line about dawn's wings and the far side of the sea. Perhaps you know those wings. Early flights, early starts, early worries that gather like crows on wires. Perhaps you have longed for the farthest edge of somewhere else, a move, a reset, a blank slate. The psalm says that the far edge isn't far to God. Even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. Leadership and holding, guidance for the mind, comfort for the nerves, both given, not earned. Then comes a part anxious hearts need, light for the dark rooms inside. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Imagine a blackout curtain you've pulled tight against the worst of yourself. Now imagine that behind the fabric, there is already a window open to moonlight. The darkness is not denied. It is relit. In that light, you do not squint in shame. You breathe. The psalm turns tenderly toward the body. You were knit together in your mother's womb. Knit, not stamped. Someone counted stitches. Someone chose colors. Someone rested between rows. Anxiety can make you feel mass-produced, a unit among units scrambling on deadlines. But this line says otherwise. Fearfully and wonderfully made is not a slogan. It is craft. Tonight, lay a hand over the places you criticize. Belly, thighs, the curve of your neck, the crease at your eye. Bless the knit. Bless the good work time has done and will keep doing. You are not a mistake in need of constant correcting. You are a design being steadily completed. There is comfort here for those who feel untraceable. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written the days that were formed for me. Do not hear determinism where the psalm offers attention. The book is not a prison ledger. It is a journal of care. Think of someone keeping notes on what delights you. The way you liked the smell of rain on the day you turned 12. The way you laugh only for real when you feel safe. The way you are brave in small, unpublicized ways. Those notes become tomorrow's provision. Help placed where you'll stumble. Relief waiting where you'll be weary. A friend appearing where you could have been alone. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxious thoughts. The prayer asks not to be spared inspection, but to be accompanied in it. If the thought of being searched makes your stomach tighten, notice the purpose. See if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. This is not the customs line. It is a clinic where the healer listens to symptoms without impatience, names the infection without contempt, and prescribes rest as part of the cure. Anxiety is not sin. It is a signal. If sin has braided itself with your fear, self-protection that cuts others, control that chokes love, let the search be surgical and kind. Allow what harms to be named for healing, not for humiliation. Practice a gentle exam shaped by this psalm. Ask, where did I feel seen today? Name one moment, a barista remembering your order, a friend's 3-word text, a coworker's patient answer. Then ask, where did I hide? Name it without theatrics, a small lie, a smile you kept on too long, a scroll you used to avoid a conversation with yourself. Finally ask, where might your hand have been on me? Steadying. Wait. Do not rush the answers. Often they come as images. A hand on a shoulder in a hallway, a green light when you were late, a child's laugh that reset your breath. Thank the presence that threaded those hours. If you carry a harsh narrator in your head, let Psalm 139 introduce a kinder voice. The harsh one catalogs flaws and forecasts failure. The kinder voice knows all and condemns none. It is not sentimental. It tells truth like a craftsman. That joint needs attention. That nail is proud. That board will hold once we sand it. In this voice, conviction never strips dignity. It invites cooperation with the good that's already begun in you. You may worry that being fully known means being fully exposed, but the Psalm's knowing always ends in keeping. Hemmed in, held, led, lifted, verbs of care. If you cannot imagine such gentleness because human knowing has hurt you, confidence is betrayed, privacy shattered, let this chapter be a slow relearning. God's knowledge is not ammunition, it is adoption. You are not tolerated, you are cherished. And cherished people sleep differently. When words thin, carry a single line like a lullaby. You have searched me and known me. Let it be a warm stone in your palm. Close your fingers around it. Breathe. If another verse wants to join, let it be the small prayer at the end. Lead me in the way everlasting. Not a route on a map, but a manner of moving, with honesty, with mercy, with enough light for the next step. Turn out the lamp. The room remembers your outline and holds it. The ceiling receives your last open-eyed glance. Under the covers, imagine the hem, behind and before, a soft seam of keeping. You do not have to arrange yourself into acceptability before you sleep. You are known now. You are kept now. The everlasting way will still be there in the morning. There are days when life feels like a slope of loose gravel. Every step slides back, and even small movements take more energy than you planned to spend. You look up and see how far there is to climb. You look down and feel the slight, sick tilt of ground that will not hold. Psalm 40 knows this landscape. It begins with waiting that is not passive but persevering, a long, steady leaning of the heart in God's direction. I waited patiently for the Lord, the psalmist says, not with clenched teeth, but with a faithful gaze that refuses to look away. And then comes the sentence anxious souls long to hear. He inclined to me and heard my cry. Imagine the pit not as punishment, but as a place where momentum died, a project that stalled, a friendship that went quiet, a health report that placed caution signs around your days. The pit has mud on its walls. It smells like stuckness, damp earth, old leaves, iron and clay. When you try to climb, handfuls of soil give way. Your shoes gain weight. The mind, too, slips and spirals. What if I never change? What if this is the new forever? You call, but the ceiling of the world seems too high to carry your voice. Then, almost unnoticeably at first, a slant of air changes. He inclined to me, as if the sky itself leaned down, cupping an ear to your small echo. Help begins with attention. The hand you cannot see arrives not with spectacle, but with certain grip. Fingers find your wrist. A palm slides to your forearm. The lift begins. Mud sucks and argues, but it does not win. With each steady pull, you feel your weight transferred into keeping larger than your strength, and the slope that mocked you a moment ago becomes a witness to rescue. Your feet find rock, real rock, grainy and sure. The first seconds are quiet. The body that has been bracing for so long does not remember how to stand on something that does not move. Knees tremble with a leftover tremor. The one who lifted you does not scold the tremble. He waits while your balance returns. The ground feels almost loud in its steadiness. No give, no slide, only the deep, trustworthy pushback of reality. You inhale through your nose and taste air without dust. You exhale and the breath leaves clean. The psalm says, He set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. Notice the gentleness in the verb set. You are not hurled from the pit. You are placed. Placement is a kindness to those whose nerves have lived in emergency. You look around and find that the path forward is not a cliff, but a series of simple steps. Someone has laid flat stones across a stretch of mud. Someone has cut shallow stairs into the hill. Your job is no longer to invent a rope. It is to take the next steady step. Then an odd thing happens. Where groaning used to be the only sound you could make, another music rises. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. You are not asked to write it. You are given it. The song is not loud at first. It is a humming that begins in the chest, traveling through bone and breath like warmth after a cold walk. You hum without deciding to. Gratitude sneaks in like light under a door. You do not pretend the pit never existed. You sing precisely because it did and you are no longer there. If you listen closely, the new song changes your gait. People who have been rescued walk differently, not arrogantly, but with a weight distributed toward hope. You notice small provisions on the path, a handrail where there was none last time, a friend who appears not with advice, but with a thermos and 2 cups, an email that says, "I've been thinking of you. No need to reply." These are not coincidences you must explain away. They are notes in the melody you have been given. Psalm 40 also honors the complex truth that rescue does not erase need. Later in the song, the psalmist admits he is poor and needy still. Anxiety sometimes imagines that salvation means never feeling fragile again, but the psalm teaches a more human hymn. You can be rescued and still require help tomorrow. You can stand on rock and still need a hand for the next climb. This does not disqualify your joy. It deepens it. The one who heard you once hears you again. The voice you learn to recognize in the pit becomes the one you follow on the path. There's a section about offerings and obedience, a gentle recalibration for hearts that try to trade their way into peace. Sacrifice and offering you have not desired, but you have given me an open ear. Rescue tunes hearing. After the clamor of panic, the ear learns to pick out guidance, a sentence that comes while washing dishes, a scripture remembered on a bus, a nudge to rest instead of forcing one more hour. You are not paying God back. You are walking with Him, which is the only return that makes sense of grace. If shame tries to rewrite the narrative, you slipped because you were careless. You cried because you are weak. You were helped, but probably don't deserve it. Answer it with the Psalm's better story. He drew me up. That is the headline. Your part is not erased, but it is not the point. When shame persists, picture that steady hand again. Let it return to your forearm in memory. Feel the firmness, the unhurried strength. Hear one quiet sentence. Loved, not loaned. Kept, not on trial. Practice an embodied remembrance. Step onto a rug or a strip of floor and call it rock. Stand there barefoot if you can. Let your toes spread. Feel the support rise to meet your weight. Say aloud, even if only a whisper, "You set my feet upon a rock." Then step off the rug and back on, as if rehearsing the movement from pit to path. Do it 3 times, not for superstition, but to teach your muscles what your heart is learning. Stability is real. It has been given. You can return to it. The psalm speaks of many seeing and putting their trust in the Lord. Rescue is personal, but it is rarely private. Without publishing your pain, you carry a quiet authority now, the kind that makes another anxious person believe rest might be possible. You do not need to give speeches. Sometimes it is enough to be the one in the room whose breathing stays slow when plans change. Sometimes it is enough to say, "I've been there," and mean it without drama. Your new song hums in frequencies others can hear. If threats still circle, old habits calling from the lip of the pit, voices from the past trying to narrate your present, entrust them as the psalmist does to a justice beyond your project plan. As for me, I am poor and needy, but the Lord takes thought for me. Let that sentence be a blanket. The Lord takes thought for me, not as a problem to handle, but as a person to cherish. Consider how differently you will sleep under that thought than under the old assignment to save yourself. As night approaches, the ground does what it has always done for the kept. It holds. The rock under your feet becomes the mattress under your spine. You are placed again, not into mission, but into rest. The new song softens to a lullaby. If you wake, it will be there. If you dream, it will rise into the dream and turn the colors warm. You do not have to prove you were rescued by never needing rescue again. You need only to say thank you with your life, and sometimes the most honest thank you is sleep. Close your eyes. Feel the absence of sliding. Hear the quiet steadiness of your breath. Somewhere in the distance, others are being lifted. Their names will come to you in the morning, and you will bless them. For now, he drew me up, set my feet, put a new song. Let those 3 small phrases be the braid that ties this day to the next. You are on the rock. You can rest. There is a quiet many people discover only after something breaks. It isn't the quiet of success or the hush of a finished list. It's the kind that follows a sob in the kitchen when the house is empty, or the silence on the drive home after the news you hoped wouldn't come. Psalm 34 makes room for that quiet. It does not move fast. It does not ask you to tidy what grief has pulled apart. It opens the door and lights a lamp and says, "Come in as you are." The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Near is the word to hold like a stone warmed by a pocket. Not later, not when you've improved, near. Imagine a small cottage at the edge of a wood. Rain has begun, soft at first, then steadier. You step inside, and the air smells of cedar and fresh bread. A kettle begins to hum from the far counter. The chair by the window has a blanket folded across the back, and the window collects oval beads of water that slide and join and slide again. This is not an escape from your life. It is a place where your life can breathe. The psalmist says, "I sought the Lord, and he answered me." But the answer is often a presence before it is a plan. Tonight, let presence be enough. Broken hearts have their own weather. Sometimes wind rattles the panes. Sometimes fog sits low and won't lift. Sometimes sun arrives and you feel guilty for liking it. Psalm 34 does not shame any of that. It remembers fear that took over the mouth and eyes, trembling that made dignity seem far away. And yet, I looked to him and was radiant, the psalmist says, radiant not like a spotlight's glare, but like skin after tears, washed and real. Radiance in this cottage is candlelight, finding your face and deciding to stay. You may be nursing a specific bruise, words you cannot unhear, an empty chair at a table that keeps catching your gaze, a hope that took too long and then didn't come at all. Sit with it. The chair holds. The blanket warms without trapping. The kettle lifts its voice to a soft whistle, as if inviting you to remember you still have hands that can pour, lips that can sip, a throat that can swallow comfort. The body participates in healing before the mind feels ready. Drink slowly. Let the warmth refute the lie that nothing good can enter you now. The psalm speaks honestly. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. You did not suffer because you were uniquely wrong. You suffered because the world is not yet whole. That admission is not despair. It's permission to stop inventing reasons to blame yourself. The next line arrives like a door opening to a covered porch. But the Lord delivers him out of them all. Delivery is not denial of the package. It is transport to a better address. Sometimes deliverance looks like strength to make a phone call. Sometimes it is a nap without nightmares. Sometimes it is a friend who texts, "I'm outside, no pressure, wanna walk?" The porch has room for such arrivals. Taste and see that the Lord is good. The invitation is anchored in the senses. Broken hearts often live in the head because the head promises control. This line summons you back to taste, sight, texture, smell. Break a small piece from the bread on the counter. Notice the crusts crackle, the steam rising like faint incense. Taste. Let goodness be a flavor before it becomes a thesis. Look out the window. Rain slicks the bark until the trees look new made. If you step onto the porch, the air will carry petrichor and pine. Goodness is not always relief. Sometimes it is companionship that meets you in rain and says, I will stand here as long as you need. If regret keeps tugging your sleeve, acknowledge it kindly and ask it to sit. You can speak to it the way you would to a child who missed a step and fell. We know. We saw. We will be more careful. You are still loved. The psalm includes an odd promise that bones are kept. He keeps all his bones. Not one of them is broken. Your life may feel shattered, but the deepest structure, what God knows of you, what God holds in you, remains intact. The frame is sound. You can rebuild on it. Try a gentle practice the cottage seems made for. On the table lies a shallow wooden bowl and a handful of smooth pebbles. For each grief you're willing to name tonight, place one pebble in the bowl. Speak the name softly. A person, a season, a lost chance, a fear. After each, breathe and listen to the rain. When the bowl holds 5 pebbles or 10, run your fingers through them. They are cool and real. So is your sorrow. Now, with open palms, lift the bowl. No big speech, only breath and a sentence small enough to hold. Near to the brokenhearted. Set the bowl back down. Nothing magic has happened, but something honest has been shared. The psalm also remembers deliverance from fear that owned the room. Perhaps you have stories where panic dressed as wisdom and told you to run from every tenderness. Perhaps you have stories where you ran anyway and learned the difference the hard way. He delivered me from all my fears, the psalmist says, not by making him fearless, but by making fear not in charge. In the cottage, that looks like staying long enough to finish the cup of tea. It looks like texting, I made it home, to the friend who asked you to check in. It looks like letting someone see your red eyes without apologizing for the salt. At all times, the psalm begins about blessing. All times includes this one. Blessing here is not a cheerful overlay. It is a way of speaking good in a room that has hosted pain. Try it. Bless the rain for washing. Bless the chair for holding. Bless your heart for beating when it would be easier to forget. Bless the memory that keeps returning, not because you love pain, but because love is patient with the long work of letting go. A benediction is not a stamp of finished. It is a word of accompaniment. You are not alone as you continue. If anger shares space with sorrow, the psalm does not confiscate it. It invites you to aim it toward justice that is larger than you, to refuse the shortcuts of malice, to keep your tongue from adding harm to harm. Broken hearts often gain a new conscience about breakage. Let that conscience teach your mouth gentleness and your hands restraint. You are not required to make everything right tonight. You are invited to do no additional harm to others or to yourself as you heal. As evening deepens, the rain softens to a thread-like fall. From the forest, a nightbird sings a 3-note phrase and waits, then sings it again, as if checking whether the world is still listening. You are. You lie down on the small bed the cottage keeps for travelers in sorrow. The sheet is cool, the pillow square and honest, the blanket warm without weight. You do not have to strategize your way out of grief to be allowed to rest. The permission is already printed on the linens. Near, kept, saved. You trace the words in your mind as if they were stitched there. If a line will help you drift, take the Psalm's promise and set it to the rhythm of your breath. The Lord is near. Inhale. To the brokenhearted. Exhale. The Lord is near. Inhale. To the brokenhearted. Exhale. Let the sentence work through muscles that have braced too long. Let it smooth your forehead and loosen your jaw. Tears may come again. They do not disqualify your rest. The cottage has extra handkerchiefs in the drawer. The God who keeps watch does not roll his eyes. He keeps watch. Sleep will come when it is ready. If it is slow, you can count the small taps of rain on the sill. You can listen for the kettle's tiny clicks as it cools. You can rehearse the smallest evidences of goodness that held today together. A neighbor's wave, a decent song on the radio, the way the sky opened briefly at noon. None of these erase your loss. All of them testify that love still has a pulse in the world and in you. Close your eyes now. The lamp dims to a friendly ember. The cottage breathes in time with you. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. That nearness does not leave when you sleep. It will be the first presence you wake to in the morning when the rain has washed the world thin and clean. Rest in that promise. Let your heart, cracked as it is, be held together by hands that know how to mend without haste. There are weights that do not look like weights until you set them down. Thoughts you keep rearranging, stories you keep defending, silences you keep guarding like breakable glass. Psalm 32 offers a door for such burdens. It begins with a sigh that turns into a blessing. Happy, relieved, unknotted is the one whose wrongs are carried away, whose hidden thing is no longer a secret between the ribs. Confession here is not a courtroom speech. It is a homecoming. It is the long exhale after holding your breath for rooms and rooms. Imagine a small path through olive trees, the ground dappled with leaf shadows. You have walked this path many times, avoiding a certain turn because it leads to a quiet porch where truth tends to sit and wait. Tonight, you take the turn. The porch boards creak in a friendly way. A chair faces the evening breeze. On the table rests a bowl of water and a linen cloth, as if someone expected you to arrive dusty. You sit, and the air moves over your skin like a kindness you didn't plan. The psalm remembers the body's protest when we clutch our faults like contraband. When I kept silent, my bones wasted away. Day and night, your hand was heavy upon me. My strength was dried up as by the heat of summer. You know this heat, the way it builds under the collar when you rehearse explanations, the way sleep thins when you pretend something isn't true. You do not have to scold yourself for it. Just notice how tired you are from the weight of self-keeping. A bird lands on the railing. The olive leaves make a sound like soft rain. You place your hands, palms up, on your knees. You do not start with labels or legal names. You start with felt things. The sharp sentence you said and then regretted. The shortcut you took that bent trust. The silence you maintained because honesty looked inconvenient. The scrolling you used to numb when a call might have healed. Hold each with gentleness. They are not monsters. They are missteps that turned into companions because you refused to look at them. Looking is the beginning of leaving. I acknowledged my sin to you. I said, "I will confess," and you forgave. The Psalm's sequence is astonishingly simple. There is no maze, no fee at the counter. You tell the truth to the one who already knows and is not bored by you. That is all. If words feel complicated, start with one. "It's me," or another, "I did," or the smallest of all, "Help." The porch does not require eloquence. It rewards honesty with air. Sometimes we fear that naming our wrong will undo us, but the psalm calls confession a hiding place. You are a hiding place for me. You preserve me from trouble. You surround me with shouts of deliverance. Hiding in God is the opposite of hiding from God. One shrinks the soul, the other gives it room. Hear the strange phrase, shouts of deliverance. Not jeers, not lectures, celebrations that a burden has changed shoulders at last. Imagine friends you trust emerging from the trees, not to interrogate, but to sing relief over you. It's off you now. It's not yours to carry. To help the body agree with the heart, try the bowl and cloth waiting on the table. Dip the cloth, wring it gently, and wipe the dust from your hands as if the dust were old guilt. Then touch the cloth to your face, the forehead where worry lodges, the cheeks that flushed with defensiveness, the jaw that held back words. This is not a ritual with magic. It is a picture for a nervous system that believes pictures more readily than paragraphs. Clean is not a word for perfect. It is a word for now. The psalm includes counsel. Let everyone who is godly offer prayer to you at a time when you may be found. Found is not a narrow window, as if God were a vendor closing shop. Found means near. Tonight is always such a time. If you are tempted to delay until you can confess beautifully, remember that beauty in confession is simply truth spoken without costume. If your voice shakes, let it shake. If tears come, let them come. Tears are the water the heart uses to loosen knots. There is a promise many miss because it sounds like instruction. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. Instruction here is not a scolding syllabus. It is a tailor's careful measuring for clothes that fit a new soul. When a child learns to walk, we do not shout steps across the room. We hold hands and match pace. Guidance after confession feels like this, an invitation to new habits. One small and honest choice at a time. Do not be like the horse or mule, the psalm says, creatures that must be forced with bit and bridle. You are not an animal to be dragged. You are a beloved learner, being gently shown freedom's path. Perhaps part of what kept you silent was the fear that you would have to explain yourself to everyone. Notice how the psalm moves. The conversation begins with God, and from that conversation flows wisdom about other conversations. Some apologies will be needed. Some boundaries will be redrawn. Some restitution will be appropriate. But you do not have to design those outcomes on the porch tonight. Tonight is for setting the weight down and letting your bones recall what it is to be light enough to sleep. If shame interrupts, it will use old phrases. You always, you never. No one else would have. Shame tells the future with a crooked mouth. Answer it with the psalm's truth. Steadfast love surrounds the one who trusts in the Lord. Surrounds like a circle of lanterns. Surrounds like friends walking you home. Surrounds like sunrise coming from every window at once. Shame isolates. Love encircles. There is no competition. Keep a small practice for mornings after confession. On a scrap of paper, write one sentence you intend to live into. Something specific and kind. Today, I will answer without defensiveness. Or, today I will not rewrite the story to make myself look better. Or, today I will return what I borrowed. Place the paper in your pocket. When you feel for your keys, you will touch intention and remember that forgiveness creates space for newness that is concrete, not abstract. Joy returns in this psalm, and it is not loud. Be glad. Shout for joy, it says, and your shout may be a whisper or a hum you carry while washing dishes. Joy after confession is not a party thrown for your heroism. It is the deep rest of belonging without bargaining. The porch breeze smells of rain and dust and olive. A light comes on inside the house. A voice you love calls your name, not like a summons to court, but like a welcome across a familiar room. If a verse will carry you to sleep, let it be short enough to ride your breath. You are my hiding place. Inhale, you are. Exhale, my hiding place. Or this, blessed is the one whose transgression is forgiven. Inhale, blessed is the one. Exhale, forgiven. Let the words begin the work of memory, the soul remembering what it was like before the secret grew heavy, to be simple and unafraid. You rise from the chair. The bowl and cloth remain, a sign that you can return as often as you need. The porch steps lead back to the path between trees. The path leads to a bed where clean linen waits. Settle under the sheet and feel how the mattress receives you without condition. There's nothing to prop up tonight. Nothing to manage, nothing to hide. Relief is a softness in the chest, an ease behind the eyes, a jaw that lets go. The one who counseled you on the porch watches at your window like dawn, patient and kind. Sleep now, light and forgiven. The shouts of deliverance that tall trees keep are singing you toward rest. In the morning, you will wake to the same surrounding love, and the day will be spacious in a way you forgot days could be. For now, close your eyes. You are hidden where you are most known. You are blessed where you are most honest. You are kept. There is a kind of safety that does not fence you in. It opens a meadow and says, "This is yours for tonight." Psalm 16 lives in that meadow. It speaks to anxious planners and midnight forecasters, to anyone who redraws the map twice and still worries about the edges. Instead of scolding the instinct to prepare, the psalm offers a truer orientation, a refuge you can actually rest in. Refuge here does not cancel responsibility. It cools the fever beneath it. The lists can wait for daylight. Tonight is for being kept. Picture a field just after rain. The grass holds pearls in every blade. Around the gentle rise of a hill, boundary stones stand where they have stood for generations, shoulder high and lichen soft, spaced like a slow heartbeat. These are not walls to keep joy out. They are markers that keep fear from claiming more ground than it is owed. You place your palm on one stone. It is cool and steady, proof that limits can be mercies in disguise. You recall the line, "The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places." Pleasant does not mean easy. It means fitting, humane, kind to your nervous system. Anxiety often treats limits as enemies. It whispers that more control would mean more peace. Psalm 16 answers with a gentler geometry. Limits can be gifts, a day with an ending, a body with needs, a calendar with white space you are not required to fill. In the meadow, you try this truth on like a cloak that surprisingly fits. The edges do not choke, they warm. The field is wide enough to walk without pacing. You can rest within it without posting a guard at every corner. There is company here. The psalmist delights in the saints in the land, a way of saying that goodness often arrives wearing ordinary faces. Think of people whose presence steadies your breathing. The neighbor who waters your plants when you travel, the coworker who diffuses meetings with a real laugh, the elder who never hurries your sentences. Draw them near in memory. Gratitude returns the sense that you are planted in a community, not suspended over a cliff by your own grip. Some inheritance is not property, but people. You pass a small table in the grass, a plank on trestles, with a cup already poured. The psalm speaks of cup and portion, a way of receiving life not as a prize you must guard, but as an allotment tended by a faithful hand. You lift the cup. It tastes like something exact to your need. Not fireworks, not anesthesia, just rightness. The portion is not meager. It is enough, and enough is a word anxious hearts learn slowly. Sip again. Let enough become a sentence your body understands. Night brings counsel in this meadow. In the night also my heart instructs me, the psalmist says, and you feel it as a hush that is not empty. Thoughts that used to chase each other soften into a line you can follow. A solution may rise like a shy animal from the edge of the wood. More often, what rises is permission to delay a decision until morning, to say no without apology, to accept help that has been offered twice. This is not indecision dressed as peace. It is peace teaching you to decide from rest instead of panic. At the meadow's center stands a waystone carved with an arrow. You align your steps with it. I keep the Lord always before me, the psalm says. Before does not mean far ahead. It means in view, held the way a sailor keeps a lightship in sight. Other lights glitter and grab. You check the true light and breathe. Then the next promise lands where tremors start. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be shaken. Right hand, close enough to steady without crowding, strong enough to keep you from the stumble that turns into a spiral. Imagine that nearness as a gentle pressure just below your shoulder, a presence that matches your pace and quietly shares your weight. Fear likes to rehearse endings. Psalm 16 rehearses presence. It does not promise that nothing hard will happen. It promises you will not face the hard alone and not for nothing. Even death, it hints, will be met with a path you do not have to pave. For tonight, follow the smaller path at your feet, the one that leads to lying down without the courtroom in your head. Let the verdict read, held. Try a boundary practice with the stones. Walk the perimeter slowly, touching each marker with the back of your fingers the way you would greet a sleeping child, soft, so as not to wake what should rest. At the first stone, name a limit that protects you. I will not answer work messages after 9. At the second, a boundary that heals. I will not explain my no more than once. At the third, a kindness toward your body. I will eat when I am hungry and stop when I am full. At the fourth, a mercy toward your mind. I will not forecast disaster when I do not have today's data. As you walk, notice how the chest loosens, how breath lengthens. Limits are not punishments. They are contours of care. Joy in this psalm is not a party trick. It is orientation. You make known to me the path of life, the poet says. Paths are walked, not swallowed whole. In your presence there is fullness of joy. Fullness does not always mean laughter. Sometimes it means the absence of dread, the sudden ability to taste an orange and actually notice the zest in the peel. Sometimes it is a nap. Sometimes it is waking and realizing you slept through the hour when worry usually knocks. Joy is not noise. It is the unforced buoyancy of being companioned. Think of tomorrow without borrowing it. Imagine a single hour, a meeting, a commute, a hard conversation. Place that hour inside the meadow. Let boundary stones ring it with sane limits. Picture the right hand near your right side, not pushing you into the hour, simply walking with you through it. The body responds to that picture. Shoulders lower, jaw slackens, breath settles. The future is not being demanded from you all at once. It will arrive one kept minute at a time, and presence will meet each minute as it comes. If you need a sentence to carry into sleep, choose a small one and let it ride your breath. Pleasant places, or right hand, or simply enough. If you want the psalm's own words, keep them few and tender. The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Because he is at my right hand, I shall not be shaken. Lay the words under your tongue like a square of dark chocolate, and let them melt until only sweetness remains. The sky darkens to a blue that remembers water. Crickets begin their soft, even stitching along the field's hem. You lie down where the grass is dry and the earth is warm from the day. Above you, quiet lights keep their ancient watch. Within you, a steadier light takes the chair where panic used to sit. The cup is empty in the good way. The portion remains. The meadow does not shrink when you close your eyes. It simply waits with you until morning. Limits guarding, presence guiding, joy returning in whispers. Rest now within given lines, not as a prisoner, but as a beloved heir. Rest with the right hand near. Rest with joy that does not have to perform to be real. What is yours tonight is wide enough. What is not yours can be safely left outside the stones until dawn. Sleep in pleasant places and wake kept. There is a way to make the night simpler, not by shrinking your life, but by gathering it around one center. Imagine your room like a small chapel after Compline. Light low, floor cleared, only what helps you breathe remaining. A single candle burns, and everything in the room quietly faces that flame. Psalm 27 offers a sentence for this kind of ordering. One thing, not 10 things, not even 3. 1. The heart that has been juggling torches can set them down and warm its hands at a single fire. Picture a table that held too much, mail in drifting piles, keys from 3 jobs ago, tangled cords, empty cups, the fragments of plans you kept promising to sort. Tonight, you make a different decision. You move everything aside and place one small bowl in the middle. The bowl is for a desire you can name without hurry, to dwell with God, to behold beauty, to ask questions in a place where answers are not graded. The psalm calls this to dwell, to gaze, to inquire. These are gentle verbs. They do not bruise, they do not rush, they do not bargain. They invite a posture you can sustain. Anxiety thrives on multiplex. It keeps a dozen tabs open, each playing a different song in a different room. The single desire turns down the others. It is not contempt for your responsibilities. It is clarity about their ordering. When a thought tries to audition for the lead, what about tomorrow's meeting? What about the text you should send? What about that ache behind your left eye? You can nod, promise to schedule it, and return to the candle's steady center. Desire is not erased. It is refined. You want to live in the presence that steadies wanting itself. You might make this concrete. Choose a chair and call it your dwelling chair. Sit with feet planted, hands resting open, eyes soft. Let your breathing find an easy arc, in through the nose, out through the mouth, longer on the exhale. On each exhale, place a word on the air, here, or behold, or simply one. As the room settles, imagine the inside of your mind also tidying itself. Papers stacked, drawers closed. A window opened to let the evening in. The psalmist speaks of a shelter, a place where trouble cannot set the rules. Earlier, you learned about refuge during chaos. Tonight, the emphasis shifts. Shelter becomes studio, a place where God's beauty is the curriculum, and your attention is the instrument being tuned. Think of a small gallery with a single painting hung at the perfect height. A chair sits before it. The frame is plain so the colors can speak. Beauty does a precise work here. It does not distract from problems. It recalibrates the soul so problems are engaged from steadiness rather than from panic. Teach me your way, the psalm continues. Way, not trick. A way is a manner of walking, a rhythm of choices that grows familiar with practice. In the quiet, you might sense a next step for tomorrow's complicated thing. Not the whole plan. One step. Send the email, but kind. Make the call, but not tonight. Sleep first. The single desire grants permission to be finite. It reminds you that you are not God, which in the night is comfort, not insult. There is also the permission to ask. Inquire, the psalm says. Ask like a child in a museum pulling at a sleeve. What is that? Why is this here? How come I feel this when that happens? You have an artist for a guide, patient enough to explain the brushstrokes of your own day. You may not receive a thesis. You may receive an angle of light, an aha that softens your brow and allows you to forgive a face that has been taking up too much space in your head. For some, desire is a frightening word, edged by disappointments and misfires. If that is you, take the word back gently. There is a desire that does not devour, it nourishes. It does not yank you from your place, it roots you. To desire one thing, presence, beauty, wisdom, is to align your lesser wants so they do not fight each other all night. It is to discover that many of your fears were not about outcomes so much as about being unaccompanied. When accompaniment is secure, once learn their manners. Consider a small liturgy of 3 movements. First, dwell. Imagine your chest as a room and let God be at home there, not as a guest you must entertain, but as the household you return to. Second, behold. Choose one detail in your room, the curve of the cup on your nightstand, the texture of the curtain, the way the candle makes a small halo, and praise the Maker for that exact particular. Third, inquire. Ask the simplest, honest question you have avoided. You may feel an answer arrive as a sentence or as a piece that makes the question less sharp. Either is grace. The psalm holds a line for seasons of delay. I believe I shall look upon the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. It is a vote cast against despair's campaign ads. Look upon goodness, here, not only in heaven, living, not only after the last page. You are allowed to expect beauty to visit again. Expectation here is not entitlement. It is hopeful literacy. You are learning to recognize goodness when it knocks, even if it dresses like small mercies, an unhurried conversation, a repaired appliance, a pain that eases enough for you to walk the block. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and let your heart take courage. Wait for the Lord. Earlier you learned to wait in silence. Tonight you learn to wait with desire. Desire is the small pilot light that keeps the room warm while you rest. Courage does not pace the floor. It stays by the candle, trusting heat to reach the corners in time. If this feels passive, check your body, jaw releasing, shoulders lowering, belly softening. That's not passivity, that's readiness replacing reactivity. If you want a sentence to carry to bed, keep it brief. One thing, or your beauty. Or the Psalm's simple prayer as a whisper, teach me your way. If you want a verse, choose only one short line and let it sit beside your pillow like a folded note you can open at 3 a.m. One thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after. Let the rest of the verse live as atmosphere rather than as assignment. Before you lie down, return to the table with the cleared top and the bowl at center. Place into the bowl, only in your mind if you prefer, 3 symbols of lesser worries: a paperclip for tasks, a coin for money questions, a small key for relationships you cannot unlock tonight. Speak a blessing over them rather than a command. You can rest here. I will see you in the morning. Then turn back to the candle and let your eyes grow soft. When you blow the flame out, watch the ember hold on a second. Then let the dark become a kind of velvet. The one you seek is not extinguished when the candle is. Presence does not depend on props. When you settle under the covers, orient the room one last time. Your bed is the center pew. Your breathing is the organ's low, steady note. Your heart is the congregation learning a simple refrain. The refrain has only 2 words, and they are enough. One thing. Everything else can find its place in the morning. When light returns and you walk the day's way with the one you kept company with through the night, close your eyes. The chapel of the room keeps its quiet. The holy work now is not inquiry or arranging. It is rest. You have chosen a center sturdy enough to sleep near. You are safe to stop juggling. You are welcome to be small under kindness. One thing is enough. Sleep. There is a word old as gardens that anxious hearts forget. Fret. It is smaller than fear, but just as noisy. Heat without flame, gears that spin without moving the wheel. Psalm 37 begins where many of your nights begin, with comparison and injustice, with the ache of watching shortcuts prosper and gentleness wait its turn. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, the psalm counsels, not because wrong is unreal, but because fret is a poor tool for a real problem. Fret phrase, trust roots. Imagine a small allotment garden at the edge of a city. Fences lean kindly, and the soil is dark and springy from years of care. Around you, plots differ, some with neat rows, some a little wild with marigolds among the beans. Down the lane, a flashier field blazes with quick-blooming show plants, fed by noise and speed. It dazzles for a week and then wilts. Your plot is quieter. Psalm 37 teaches you to tend it, trust in the Lord, and do good, dwell in the land and befriend faithfulness. Your land is not the whole city. It is this rectangle under your hands. Your work is not to police every fence. It is to cultivate this soil until it gives food. Trust here is not a mood you wait to feel. It is a set of small, repeated acts. Water in the cool of the morning. Weeds pulled before they seed. Compost turned even when no one claps. Fret checks the neighbor's yield and counts the days. Trust checks the moisture at the roots and counts the faithfulness of the sun. Fret wonders if goodness is naive. Trust remembers harvests that came slow and sound. The psalm offers a gentle exchange. Commit your way to the Lord. It is the image of rolling a burden from your back onto a stronger shoulder. Picture your day as a bundle: conversations, deadlines, the headline that pricked your hope, the email you've drafted and erased. Place the bundle at the edge of the bed as if at the garden gate. Roll it toward the one who neither drops nor despises ordinary weight. The gate does not close. It simply reminds you that what lies beyond, you walk with company. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. The psalm continues. Stillness in this garden is not idleness. It is non-anxious presence. You kneel and notice the mint trying to take more than its share. You set a boundary. You see the lettuce bolting. You let some go to seed so you'll have more next season. You watch a ladybug patrol the aphids. You let the quiet economy of the place do its work before reaching for harsher means. Patience is not passivity. It is partnership with processes that are slower and wiser than panic. Perhaps your fretting has a focus: people who cut corners and get applause, voices that bend truth and gather followers, plans that prosper by paying no attention to the damage left behind. Refrain from anger and forsake wrath, the psalm says, not because anger is always wrong, but because it is a poor gardener at night. In the dark, anger uproots what it meant to weed. The counsel is to let justice be the sun, certain to rise, not rushed by your pacing. In the morning light, you will see better where to prune and where to leave alone. There is a promise that sounds like a lullaby for land tenders. The meek shall inherit the land and delight themselves in abundant peace. Meekness, here, is not weakness. It is strength unpanicked. A meek gardener stands through a gusty evening because they know the stakes hold. They tie up a stem without breaking it. They wait out a cold snap with cloth and hope instead of ripping out the row. Abundant peace is not the absence of weather. It is the settled knowledge that weather is not the author of your harvest. Try a practice the psalm suggests without diagrams. As you prepare for sleep, list 3 small goods you can do tomorrow that belong to your plot. Something honest at work, a kindness to a neighbor, an hour guarded for rest. Write them. Close the list. Then list 3 things that are not your plot: a scandal to manage, a stranger's opinion to fix, the whole internet. Draw a line through those. Fold the paper with the goods on the inside, the way a seed is kept, and place it under your pillow. Let your body learn which list is yours to carry into morning. Psalm 37 has a soft refrain: trust, do good, dwell, befriend faithfulness. Befriending faithfulness means noticing small consistencies and letting them braid into strength. Your morning stretch, your prayer whispered in the shower, your habit of stepping outside at noon to look at a cloud. Fret feeds on novelty. Faithfulness grows on repetition. A soul that befriends it becomes durable in quiet ways. The psalm does not deny the apparent success of the crooked. It simply narrates a longer story. They flourish like grass and then wither. They draw bows that snap when peace returns. You need not compose curses. You need only cultivate a memory for dawns, how often night looked final and then light moved in without your vote. The long story is in your favor because the long story is kept by kindness that does not tire. If you must carry a verse into the dark, keep it brief and plantable. Fret not, or trust and do good, or the simplest of all, be still. Let the words be like stakes beside a tender plant, guidance more than grind. If you wake and your mind begins to pace the fence line, return to the plot. Water a single bed with prayer. Bless this conversation tomorrow. Tend this sore place with gentleness. Guard this hour for rest. Then lie back down. The night is not the time for harvesting. It is the time for roots. There is also counsel about lending generously and speaking wisely. In your garden, that looks like sharing herbs with the neighbor without making a speech, giving time where it actually helps instead of where it only looks helpful, choosing words that build a trellis for someone else's courage instead of words that topple what they're trying to grow. The righteous, the psalm says, are ever lending, and their children become a blessing. Think of legacy less as grand monuments and more as the shade your trees will give strangers. As you drift, picture the flashier field down the lane dimming to ash after a single hot wind. Then look at your plot in the moonlight, unshowy, alive, sturdier than feelings. Dew has begun to gather. The small fence keeps out what would trample at night. A fox passes, curious, and continues on because there is nothing frantic to tempt it. Your hands smell faintly of tomato vine and clean earth. Your chest, which earlier felt tight with the itch to fix the world, loosens. You are not abandoning justice. You are aligning with a way of making good that does not burn you up to make light. Before you close your eyes, whisper one more of the Psalm's lines like a promise pinned to the gate. He will act. Not he might, if the algorithm smiles on you. Not he'll help those who help themselves as a wagging finger. Simply, he will act, timely, cleanly, often quietly, sometimes surprisingly. Your part tonight is smaller and sacred. Refuse fret, choose trust, do one small good in the morning. Keep company with faithfulness like an old friend. Lie back. The room becomes a field under a kind sky. Somewhere, a train pulls its long calm across the dark. Somewhere a child turns in sleep and sighs. Somewhere a wrong is already unwinding under a justice you do not have to stage. Here, roots settle. Here, breath evens. Here you inherit what fret could never deliver, calm that holds, peace that grows. Sleep now in the garden God tends with you. Dawn will bring light enough for the next task and warmth enough for new leaves. Until then, let the earth be the earth, the night be the night, and your soul be still. There are nights when you feel encircled, not by soldiers with banners, but by worries that pitch their tents around your bed. They whisper from different directions. The conversation that soured, the bill that waits, the headline that reopens an old bruise. You lie there, counting imagined footsteps on gravel. Psalm 3 was written under siege, and yet its heartbeat is strangely tender. The psalmist confesses the crowd. Many are they who rise against me, and then discovers a sentence that breaks the ring. But you, O Lord, are a shield around me, my glory, and the lifter of my head. A shield around is a different kind of defense than a shield in front. It suggests a keeping that does not depend on your angle or alertness. Imagine your bed as a small campfire, its glow modest, its warmth true. Around it, a clear circle opens, not from your effort, but from an unseen perimeter, a presence that says, not here, not tonight. The worries do not disappear. They stand at a respectful distance, like stray dogs that once barked and now lower their muzzles. You page through the day's weight without rereading every line. The circle holds. Lifter of my head arrives next, the phrase like a palm under your chin when shoulders have folded in. Anxiety often bends us into ourselves, eyes to the ground, breath shallow, spine curved. The prayer straightens gently. Picture a quiet hand, not forcing, not scolding, tilting your face toward a kinder sky. The ceiling becomes less ceiling and more canopy. Your jaw releases a fraction. The throat learns space again. You are not being told to cheer up. You are being uncurled into hope's posture, upright enough to receive comfort. The psalm speaks of calling out and being answered from his holy hill. You may not know hills or temples, but you know distance, the sense that help lives a zip code away. Tonight, let holy hill mean nearness with altitude, a vantage that sees farther than your pillows can. From there, the answer is not a shouted fix. It is a settled reply that travels like warm air down a staircase. The reply is old and reliable. I hear you. I am here. Rest. Then the line that surprises every besieged heart. I lay down and slept. I woke again, for the Lord sustained me. Sleep between threats. How? Not because the threats were harmless, but because sustaining did not clock out when your eyes closed. Try hearing the verbs as gifts. Lay down, permission, slept, grace, woke, mercy, sustained, secret keeping. You are not required to remain on guard all night. You are allowed to hand the watch to one who does not tire. If you want to practice this handing over, imagine a short watchman's ledger at your bedside. On its pages, write the names of your circling worries, plain as you can. Deadline, rent, test, diagnosis, conversation, loneliness. Beneath the list, sign your name and write off duty at and the current time. Then write the keeper's name, even just God, and on watch. Close the book. Set it where you can see it without reaching for it. No incantation follows, only breath. A small ceremony for a nervous system that understands symbols. You are relieved for the night. The psalm takes up courage next. I will not be afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me all around. 10,000s is the mind's math at 2 a.m., multiplying possibilities until the room feels crowded. Courage here is not swagger. It is arithmetic corrected by trust. If the shield surrounds, then numbers fail to quarter you. 10,000 becomes only 10,000. No longer infinite, no longer the whole sky. If fear returns with statistics, answer it with a smaller count. 1 pillow, 1 breath, 1 presence, 1 kept soul. There is a fierce middle to Psalm 3, language of breaking teeth, the imagery bristling like a guard dog startled awake. You do not have to take up the dog's snarl to receive its point. Threats will lose their bite. If imagining broken teeth feels too sharp for your bedtime, soften the picture without losing the promise. See a storm that spent itself before it reached your street. Hear thunder rumble out beyond the hills, more memory than menace. What would have devoured you breaks on a keeping that refuses to be dramatic and refuses to fail. Let your body learn this refusal. Lie on your side if you like, the posture of rest with a little curl to it, like a comma in a sentence that will continue tomorrow. Place one hand lightly on your ribs and feel them move. Say, with each small rise, kept, and with each fall, now, kept, now, kept, now. The words do not change your circumstances. They change the climate in which you meet them. Calm is not denial. It is air fit for breathing. If your mind insists on circling the camp again, Walk the perimeter with a blessing instead of a flashlight. At the north, mercy for what you cannot see yet. At the east, hope for what will rise. At the south, rest for what is spent. At the west, protection for what recedes. Complete the circle and lie back down. Worries prefer to be chased. Blessing does not chase, it names and releases. The psalm ends with a benediction broad enough to cover your particular. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing be on your people. Belongs means owned, not rented. You are not straining to qualify for rescue. You are living in someone else's jurisdiction of goodness. Blessing on your people means you are not the only bed being kept tonight. Across the city, across countries, across time zones, other tired hearts are being circled by the same shield, lifted by the same hand, sustained through the same dark. There is comfort in the conspiracy of being kept together. Think of someone you love who might be listening too, down the hall, across town, in another country, with a window open to different air. Whisper their name into the circle, not to summon them, not to fix them, simply to let love travel without bracing. Your blessing be on your people folds them in, then fold yourself in as well. We often pray for others with tenderness and forget to include our own bones. Tonight, kindness includes your spine, your skin, your thoughts that tried so hard, your emotions that did their best to warn and sometimes overwarn. Bless them. Tell them they can sleep. If a line will carry you the last stretch into rest, let it be the center of this psalm. You, O Lord, are a shield around me. Say it once to the ceiling, once to the mattress, once to the dark. Then let it fall silent and do its work as an atmosphere instead of a sentence. Should you wake later, you can touch it again, like reaching for a cup on the nightstand you know by shape. Shield around, glory near, head lifted, watch kept. Close your eyes. The encircling presence does not blink. The unseen perimeter holds while dreams drift in, gentle as fog over quiet water. You lay down and you will rise because sustaining is underway whether or not you sense it. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Blessing is on the people, and you are among those people tonight and in the morning. There is a difference between being faithful and being driven. Driven grinds its teeth. Faithful breathes. Psalm 127 stands at the doorway of night like a kindly foreman who turns off the shop lights and says, "Go home now." It is a psalm about building and watching and bread and sleep, about the folly of carrying tomorrow on your back when your body is begging for a pillow. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep. The words are simple as a hand on a light switch. The power down is not punishment, it is protection. Imagine a small house on a quiet street. The day's work shows in the scuffs by the door, deliveries brought in, shoes lined like commas, a backpack slumped where someone dropped it and went looking for a snack. In the kitchen, a dish rack gleams with recent rinsing. In the living room, a toy car waits mid-journey under the sofa. Your life has a texture, use and care, effort and evidence. You have been building in ways that do not always make headlines, showing up for a coworker, paying what you could, making soup, answering texts you could have ignored. The psalm does not despise such building. It blesses it by giving it a builder bigger than you. Unless the Lord builds, hear the relief hidden there. You are not the only contractor on the project that is your life. You bring hammer and patience. God brings foundation and weather. You bring a plan. God brings a future you cannot draft. Tonight, release what was never yours to guarantee. Outcomes, other people's choices, the calendar's quirks. Walk room by room and hand the keys back where they belong. Not to neglect the house, but to stop sleeping with hard hats and clipboards under your pillow. The psalm speaks also of watchmen. Every neighborhood has lights that burn late, people on shifts, parents with colicky babies, a student studying, a nurse driving home on an empty freeway. Watchmen keep a good vigil. But unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. If you have spent nights on self-appointed patrol, refreshing news feeds, imagining every worst case, staring at the ceiling to hold the roof on with your eyes, consider the offer here. There is a watcher already on the wall. He does not blink. He does not yawn into his sleeve. You can lay your head down and let the true watch keep you as you sleep. It is in vain, the psalm says gently, that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil. You know that bread. It tastes like cold coffee and second guessing, like emails drafted at midnight, like jaws that ache. It never fills. It asks for just one more bite and then another and calls the hunger proof that you must keep eating. Tonight, set a different loaf on the counter, the ordinary bread of enough, a slice with butter, a taste of something honest. Let your mouth remember that sustenance can arrive without a side of fear. If you are a parent or caretaker, the psalm's second half will find you. It speaks of children as gift and inheritance. You may hear it as noise and laundry and delight and ache, little ones who pull at your sleeves, teenagers who shut doors, adult children you text and pray for at odd hours. The point is not to weigh you with responsibility. It is to remind you that people are never projects. They are trusts. Tonight, entrust them. Whisper their names like placing sleeping bodies into beds one by one, tucking blankets to chins, smoothing hair. They live in a house you did not build alone and are watched by an eye kinder and steadier than yours. Try a small practice with the rooms. In the kitchen, put a clean glass upside down on the counter as a sign that you are finished pouring for today. In the living room, fold a blanket and say aloud, "This is enough order for a night." In the hallway, touch the wall the way you would bless a person. Grateful for shelter, for the way drywall and paint keep weather where weather belongs. At the front door, latch it softly and breathe. Kept within, kept without. Let your feet take you toward the bed as an act of trust, not exhaustion surrender. If you work nights, adapt the liturgy to your hours. The point is not when you sleep, but that you are allowed to sleep without apologizing to the world for needing it. Fatigue is not moral failure. God gave you a body that requires cycles, waking and winding down, light and dark, doing and being done. Psalm 127 does not rebuke diligence. It rebukes panic disguised as diligence. If you cannot sleep yet, rest anyway. Dim lights, fewer tabs, soft music, a chair that fits your back. Let your nervous system approach rest the way a skittish animal approaches a palm held open long enough. Consider the phrase, "He gives to his beloved sleep." The gift is not earned. It is given because you are loved. Beloved is not a rank you achieve. It is a name you receive. If you choke on the word, borrow a smaller one, held. If even that feels too large, try a gesture. Lay your hand over your heart. Feel it working without your command. There are mercies inside you that do not take direction from your lists. Let that be a down payment on trust. The house in the psalm is more than wood and stone. It is also your inner life, the place where you keep memories and meaning. Some of those rooms have seen dust storms. Anxious toil blows grit into corners. Tonight, crack a window in each room. Let a change of air begin. You do not have to redecorate the whole interior to sleep. You can simply open to a presence that airs out what worry has closed. If you need a sentence to place on your pillow like a mint, use this one and keep it small. He gives sleep. Say it once with the lights on, once with the lights off, once after your body has settled. Or, if you prefer the builder image, whisper, "Unless the Lord." It is not a threat. It is a mercy. It turns a life made of strain into a life made of cooperation. Before you close your eyes, imagine setting down your tools, the mental measuring tape, the level you hold against every choice, the pencil behind the ear that writes and rewrites the day. Lay them on the nightstand. They will still be there in the morning, and you can pick up the right ones again. Some you may find you no longer need. God is not asking you to abandon the project. He is inviting you to stop working on it in the dark. Outside, the street settles. A neighbor's light clicks off. Somewhere, a train slides through the city like a long exhale. Your house holds. The watch is kept. The bread of anxious toil is left on the counter, and the kitchen cools. Under the covers, your breath finds a kinder rhythm. You are not the wall. You are not the foundation. You are not the lock. You are a beloved sleeper in a kept house. Sleep now under the promise that built places and watched hours are not finally yours to guarantee. You have done your part. Let keeping do the rest. He gives to his beloved sleep, and tonight, beloved includes you. There is a depth that speaks in low tones, a place beneath easy sentences where the soul sits with its questions and does not rush them away. Psalm 130 begins from there. Out of the depths I cry to you, O Lord, not whispered like a secret, but voiced like a truth that refuses polish. The depths are not proof that you failed at faith. They are proof that you are human, awake enough to notice when night is heavier and breath is shorter. The psalm does not demand pep. It asks for attention. And then it teaches the heart to wait with hope instead of panic. Imagine the sea at night from a small pier. The planks are damp under your feet, and the rail is cold with salt. Water moves like a dark animal, shoulder, flank, shoulder. Never still, never unkind, simply immense. On the horizon, a line of cloud hides the moon, and the air smells of iron and rain. You lean your elbows on the rail and speak without ornament. Help. The word falls and does not vanish. It lands in ears that have heard deeper oceans and closer storms. Let your ears be attentive, the psalm asks, and you feel, faintly at first, the dearest sensation a frightened person can feel. You are being listened to. The psalm does not pretend the depths are only weather. It faces another depth, the tangle of guilt and regret. If you, O Lord, should mark iniquities, O Lord, who could stand? The question is not a threat. It is a release. Standing on the pier, you lay down the ledger you have kept too long, columns of should have and if only, the calculus by which you try to earn a peace that can only be received. But with you, there is forgiveness, that you may be feared. Forgiveness here is not a transaction. It is a climate change, air that softens the fist, a gravity that lets your spine unfurl. Now the psalm shifts to waiting, and the image it chooses is exact. My soul waits for the Lord more than watchmen for the morning. Think of a watchman on the city wall. Cloak pulled tight, lamp trimmed, scanning the black for trouble and the east for light. The watchman cannot force dawn. He can only attend its approach with faithful eyes. That is your practice tonight. You do not manufacture morning with worry. You recognize morning when it comes. You lean your weight from dread into expectancy, quietly repeating the sentence the watchman has said for generations. The morning always arrives. You might mark your own wall. Sit in the chair that fits your back. Let your breathing become the kind of steady that keeps lamps from guttering. On the inhale, say, with you. On the exhale is forgiveness. On the inhale, my soul waits. On the exhale, for the morning. If thoughts knock with old charges, answer from the Psalm's court, already pardoned. If fear insists on a schedule, answer with the watchman's patience. I do not command the sun, I keep the watch. The sea beneath the pier continues its long syllables. From somewhere beyond the breakwater, a buoy bell speaks every few moments, metal on metal, a note that says here, here, here to vessels feeling their way home. Let that bell be grace, not loud, not rare, repeating, reliable, practical. Grace does not always arrive as fireworks. Often it arrives as a rung you can feel with your foot in the dark, one step closer to dawn. The psalm widens from I to Israel, from personal plea to communal hope. Depths are democratic. So is mercy. Picture other peers along other coasts, a student with loans and a thin fridge, a widow tracing her name on a window fogged by her breath, a nurse whose shoes ache and whose heart does too. O Israel, hope in the Lord, you whisper into the wind, and the wind carries it. Hope becomes a contagion better than fear. For with the Lord there is steadfast love, and with him is plentiful redemption. Plentiful. What a word to place beside the small cup you have been sipping. Redemption is not rationed. It does not arrive as a lone drop like those dispensers in hospital sinks. It pours. It overfills old measures. It finds corners of your story you assumed were permanently dim and throws a window open. It does not rewrite the past. It re-narrates it with a faithfulness you were not yet able to see until you could. Think now about the morning you are waiting for. Not only the one outside your window, though that will come on schedule. Also, the smaller mornings inside you. Clarity for a decision, strength to apologize, courage to rest, permission to laugh. Morning is multi-roomed. It turns on lights down hallways you have been avoiding, and instead of scaring you, it reveals dust that can be wiped and a chair you had forgotten you loved. The watchman does not greet morning with performance. He sighs a little, smiles a little, and lowers his shoulders because the city can see again. If you want to enact trust, keep a tiny ritual. Place a cup beside the sink before bed and fill it halfway. Tell your heart, this is for the morning. When you wake, drink it slowly in a patch of light. Window, phone screen, lamp, and let the swallow be sacrament, plentiful redemption, within reach, received. If you wake in the night and pass the cup, leave it. Leaving it becomes faith too. You may ask, what if dawn is slow? The psalm would answer, then wait like a person, not a machine. Machines idle and overheat. People can sing. The psalm is a song from the depths. which means music is allowed before resolution. Humming is allowed. If you cannot manage a melody, borrow the watchman's rhythm. Breath, bell, wave, breath, bell, wave. You are not stuck. You are kept while you wait. When the first pale thread appears at the seam between sea and sky, something in you will recognize it the way skin recognizes warmth. Morning never shouts at first. It blue washes the black, then lays a silver road across the water that even tired eyes can follow. Stand and let your shoulders take that color. Let your face lift. Let your mouth remember a small word it loves to say when light returns. Thanks. The psalm ends with a promise so large, it will take you the rest of your life to test it. He will redeem Israel from all his iniquities. All. Not most, not the respectable ones. The forgiven in you can now forgive in you. The kept in you can now keep others. The watched over in you can relax enough to sleep. If a sentence will carry you from depth to pillow, keep it brief and buoyant, more than watchmen for the morning. Then close your eyes on the pier and find yourself already at home. Thank you for keeping company through this night, through rivers and meadows, porches and cottages, city walls and watchmen's hours. May the one who steadied your breath while we read now steady your sleep. I bless your room to be sanctuary. 4 walls ringed with kindness, a ceiling that keeps weather where it belongs, a floor that remembers the strength of your steps. I bless your body, every faithful cell, every tired tendon, to unclench and receive rest given, not earned. May the God who answers from his holy hill meet you before you can form a sentence. May the shepherd keep near, rod and staff ready, goodness and mercy pacing your hallway like gentle dogs. Where shame has camped, may forgiveness pitch a brighter tent. Where fret has paced the fence, may trust plant a small, sturdy garden. Where grief sits with damp eyes, may nearness sit too, refusing to hurry love's work. Tonight, be released from the bread of anxious toil. Lay down the tools and ledgers, the should-haves and if-onlys. You are not the watchman on every wall, not the builder of every beam. You are the beloved in a kept house. Angels keep the stair, mercy keeps the door, peace keeps watch at your window. If you wake, a sentence waits beside you. You are kept. Say it once and let it become climate. If you sleep straight through, then blessing has done its quiet job. In the morning, rise lightly. Take water. Take daylight. Take the next honest step. The psalms we walked together will be folded in your pockets, warm with use. May you sleep in pleasant places, under wings, upon the rock. May your dreams remember joy. And may you wake renewed, heart unhurried, mind clear, hands ready for good.